as a coaching staff, we sat down with the entire personnel department, and we went through position by position what the ideal athlete would look like for each spot. We're very flexible on both sides of the ball. Coach Allen, myself, Declan, Richard Hightower, big process. Everyone's going to be heard in terms of what we're looking for, and we very clearly outlined what the ideal look would be in terms of attributes, height, weight, speed, in terms of makeup, which is of critical importance for what we're looking for. But at the same time, if it's a good football player, we're going to make it work as a coaching staff. So there's a balance going on with that, and I think the dialogue's been very, very, very healthy so far. I was with Swifty when we first drafted him in Detroit a number of years ago, and I followed his career even after he left Detroit, and think very highly of him. He's an explosive athlete. There's a number of things that he can do both in the running game and the passing game. I do think he can help ignite an offense because he's got that playmaking ability. So it'll be fun to start to work together again here this springtime with him. What's so beautiful about the coaching staff that we put together is I didn't hire a bunch of my friends. I went outside of my circle on purpose because I wanted to collect a different mix of experience, of energy, ideas, and we're all going to make it come together, and it's going to be the Chicago Bears going forward. And so it can look a number of different ways. Eric Bieniemy's got a lot of experience in the gun run game and what they did in Kansas City, obviously. And Declan has a lot of success from the Sean Payton tree, and Press Taylor has a lot of success from the Chip Kelly all the way on. And so we've got a lot of library, if you will, to draw from, and we'll see it all come together once we get our hands on these guys. Talking with DA has been very enlightening because we share the same mindset when it comes to defensive football, which is we want to affect the passer. And there's a lot of different ways you can do that. Certainly up front, the pass rush is the primary thing you think of, but also on the back end, it's challenging the receivers and disrupting the timing. And so when we look at guys that are available, absolutely, we want to upgrade the pass rush, and we also want on the back end to be able to come up and lock down receivers as well. So it's that fine balance and marriage between the rush and coverage that we're looking to augment.
Said Tooch and Aldo Gandia here. Unmute yourself, John, so we can hear your beautiful baritone voice. How are you?
rocking out there to the music. Yeah,
it's pretty
it's
cool.
like the Del tones, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Dick Dale, the Deltones.
Dale, yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. I found that in that stock music house that I get music from, Pound 5, and fell in love with it. I'll be using it quite frequently for stuff. Johnny Santucci is here to help me start the show, and he's got a Bear State of Affairs coming up in just a few minutes. And then
my guest.
Yes, tell him.
I got somebody to come on the show finally.
After repeated attempts.
Like Harrison Graham, but she's just like, fuck Santucci, you know?
Yeah, what happened to him?
I don't know. I'll follow up with him. I don't know.
Did he ever respond?
He's like Mr. Content. No.
Okay.
Not yet.
Yeah, he's got a good thing going over at his YouTube channel. I'd love to talk to him about it.
He's got a great voice, too.
Oh, my gosh. He's definitely
voice.
A professional. Indeed.
Yeah, my wife's letting me hang out with Aldo tonight, folks.
Yeah, how about that? She's got the day off.
No, she's had a few days off already. Damn cough still, you know.
Yeah, you got to take care of yourself.
It's a little better though, you know. Mm-hmm. I've been to the doctor twice, and nothing they give me is working. You know, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's just gotta wait till it's gone. You know, course, but. She's
I see you got your old Bears Barroom t-shirt.
Yeah,
nice.
Retro Bears Barroom. Retro.
Nice.
I caught your show the other night with Draft Dr. Shim.
Yeah,
last night. It was great. Yeah,
he's got a new YouTube channel called Shimon Draft Scout. It's all one word. Look for it on YouTube. When we started the night, we had one subscriber, me, and then we're up to 33, 34.
I'm gonna sign up right now because
awesome. And while you're doing that, I just want to tell people that as Cliff said in the chat room, the more I listen to Ben Johnson, the more I am in love with him. Did anybody, I wish I would have pulled this clip, did anybody see him on Barstool Sports with Big Cat? They start the questioning and they ask him a question about the Super Bowl. And he goes, no, I got the first question. If the Patriots and the Bears are in the Super Bowl, who are you rooting for? Because there was the big controversy with Big Cat revealing that he was a Patriots fan before he became a Chicago Bears fan.
Right. There's more. I got some of that in their State of Affairs from that episode, Barstool.
Well, I was, this should be a rich week for you in terms of stuff for Bear State of Affairs, because I thought this news that came out of Indianapolis yesterday was we could have done 6 hours yesterday, but
it was a lot.
I'm glad you and I are here to look at that. Do you want to start with your Bear State of Affairs right now?
Let's roll it up.
All right, here it comes.
Everyone on this show's a dog and a loser. Not John. He's the best, except for me.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, Bear State of Affairs got NFL offseason week 8. There was a lot going on, man. What's happening, Barflies? Yeah, well, last week, the barkeeper and I, we talked about whether the Bears would release players like Gerald Everett and DeMarcus Walker, and sure enough, these guys are gone. They're released the next day. Yeah. You know what that means? Ryan Poles watches bare their souls. Yeah, he does, man. Gerald Everett, man. Releasing Gerald Everett, that was kind of a no-brainer, man. In fact, signing Everett may go down as one of the all-time worst free agent signings in Bears history.
What the hell? Oh, my God.
Yeah, last offseason, Everett signed a 2-year, $12 million contract with $6 million guaranteed. Yeah, his season stats: 8 catches, 36 yards. If you're doing the math, it's $750,000 a catch and $167,000 a yard.
Oh,
woo! We're in the wrong business, Aldo.
You ain't kidding.
Let me run one pattern out there for $167K, man. Right? All right.
Yeah, exactly. I'll run 2.
Everett's release. Yeah, had been coming ever since the Bears fired offensive coordinator Shane Waldron. Everett was brought in because he was familiar with Waldron's offense, and neither coach nor the player worked out in Chicago.
I'm crying. Yes, I am.
And DeMarcus Walker's release was more shocking. While the Bears saved $5.2 million by cutting the starting defensive end, the move made an already thin defensive line a bigger issue heading into free agency and the draft. But 7 sacks over the last 2 seasons just wasn't worth $7 million a year. Listen, no doubt the guy answered the bell. He was out there every Sunday, 17 games each of the past 2 seasons. But he's not a difference maker.
Nope.
Keeping Walker as a rotational piece has value because of his versatility. But it's likely that the $7 million a year price tag was too much, even with the Bears' massive amount of cap space. Is it possible Walker returns at a discount?
Nope.
Time will tell. Yeah, this week, Bears general manager Ryan Poles and head coach Ben Johnson are in Indianapolis for the annual NFL Scouting Combine, and both made themselves available to the media. And again, this week, there were shots fired at Matt Eberflus. Yeah, said Bears general manager Ryan Poles on his new head coach hire, quote, Ben Johnson's football IQ is a totally different level from what I've seen and what we've been used to. Let me break this down for you, Aldo.
Okay, please.
Yeah, it's really not that high a bar. Yeah. After the last guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
my God. Look at that
Yeah,
guy.
Johnson probably cleared that bar with room to spare.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah.
Sorry, bro.
Yeah, but folks, this is the guy who hired Eberflus.
Oh, Lord, please
This is
help
the
me.
guy who hired Matt Eberflus. Yeah, like I said, for 3 years, we were getting out-coached every week.
Mm.
Yeah, it was obvious to fans. Why wasn't it obvious to the guy who hired Eberflus? Yeah, for a GM used to Eberflus, Waldron, and Getsy, Johnson better be on a different level, Aldo.
He better, God damn it.
Yeah, but the hits kept coming for Matt Eberflus. This week, the NFL Players Association released its annual report card for all 32 teams. And the players' evaluation of Matt Eberflus, he was last in head coach rankings. Yeah. Yeah,
That's right.
the players' most frequent complaint with their former head coach. Yeah, the players felt he lacked a willingness to listen to the players. You think? Yeah, the Players Leadership Council said, and the Players Leadership Council said he mismanaged the weekly team schedule.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
You got one job.
Yep. You know how I know this story's true, Aldo?
How's that?
This is the same guy who couldn't manage a fourth quarter or a timeout.
Ay, Dios mío.
Yeah, Ben Johnson, he also opened up to reporters. In his recent press conference, Johnson said, DJ Moore is one of the best run-after-the-catch receivers in the NFL. And that's true. His 588 yards of yak last season was 6th in the NFL. But Johnson went on to say, quote, he knows he better be blocking as well because no block, no rock.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, as far as blocking goes, Moore actually graded out pretty well, finishing tied for 9th in the league, over 200 blocking snaps. Yeah, I feel pretty confident this coaching staff knows how to use Moore and take advantage of what he does best, rather than countless bubble screens. Hopefully, Bears fans will see more slants, shallow crossers, and quick outs. Yeah, Ben Johnson had some great stories about his relationship with Caleb Williams. Yeah, during the Super Bowl, Johnson's phone kept buzzing. Yeah, it was Caleb Williams. Yeah, this time he really was talking to Ben Johnson and not a prankster. Yeah. Said Ben Johnson, quote, I just know he's a hungry individual who's ready to get his career started off because he's got a chance to be pretty darn special. Yeah, his favorite thing about Caleb, quote, his ability to extend the play and maybe get an explosive downfield.
We got fucking fire, man! We got fucking fire, man!
Yeah, at last I feel like the Bears have a real head coach. I mean, we literally have a coach who would cut off his own nuts for a Super Bowl win.
I already got 3 kids.
He's already got 3 kids. Yep.
All right, take it easy.
And in NFL news, legendary tight end Rob Gronkowski is considering a return to the NFL. Now, hear me out on this. The Bears only have one tight end on the roster, Cole Kmet.
True.
And Gronk, he can't be worse than Mercedes Lewis.
I do not deny that my heart has greatly desired this.
Let's take Gronk in a uniform, man. I think 87's open.
I think you're right.
Right on, man. Yeah. And did you hear about this AI simulation, Aldo?
No.
Yeah. The Marquee Sports did an AI simulation of the Bears' next 10 seasons with Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams leading the team. And they have the Bears as perennial playoff contenders, as well as winning 2 Super Bowls. Yeah. Bring on the singularity.
I love it.
Gotta love the AI. Yeah. And just in case the AI is listening, Aldo, let me just say, all hail our robot overlords. Let's hope those robots are smart and benevolent. That is Bears State of Affairs.
Yeah, baby.
We're finished talking.
Another great job. Excellent work. By the way, Vizzo says that Gronk went on social media and debunked the rumor of coming back. I actually I bought it too. I bought that he was coming, and then there was a tweet that started circulating around that the Bears were going to announce after the draft that they are going to build in Arlington Heights, and then the fake Adam Schefter account went out there and said the same thing, and so I was all jazzed, and it's probably not going to happen. They're not going to announce anything soon, that's for sure.
That makes I hate when they do that shit, you know.
Yeah,
fake accounts to get everybody jazzed. I was like, man, I'd love to see Gronk catching some pass. He can't be worse than Mercedes Lewis.
Indeed, that's for sure. David asked, "Hey, I thought you mentioned that Dan was going to be on tonight." Yeah, David, he was, and we failed to connect. So I got a feeling he's going to make it next week. I know he's anxious to come back. We're going to make that happen real fucking soon. I know Tooch, that was the first thing he saw me when he said to me when he saw my ugly face, "Hey, where's Dan?" But we got a good guest coming on in about 15 minutes or so. I want to still ask you some questions about some of the stuff you raised on your Bears State of Affairs. So what is it about our new head coach Ben Johnson that is really impressing you in this early these early appearances before things really take off?
Yeah, definitely intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got the leader. He's a leader of men.
Mm-hmm.
You know, his personality. I mean, if you watch that Barstool interview, man, his personality really came out as like a guy who's going to be, you know, a good coach, a good locker room guy, good coach for his players, no nonsense. You know, it looks like he's got the right attitude as well, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm really impressed.
Yeah, you know, and just so smart. He is definitely the smartest guy in the room. And I don't think he's trying to sound that way, but it is clear that he is. And if anything, I think he wants to try to show that he's the toughest guy in the room. I mean, he's been trash talking with the Packers head coach. He's been saying, you know, about the block, you don't get the rock, that you quoted in State of Affairs. I mean, he is showing himself to be a hard-ass coach. I'm going to be good to the players, but if they're not good to me, fuck them kind of style of coaching. That excites me.
Yeah, it looks like he'll have the players, fighting for him and a little more disciplined than we had under Matt Eberflus.
Indeed. Steve Starron says he sounds too good to be true. You're right.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking when I'm saying all this stuff. It's probably too good to be true. After all, we're Bears fans, right? Do you start?
Exactly.
We're always getting the rug pulled out from under us.
Well, let me ask you, when the Bears made previous announcements on head coach changes, when was the last time you were excited about a head coach coming to Chicago?
I was thinking about that too, about half a minute ago. When do we have a coach that was this intelligent, this gung ho? I'm trying to think. I can't remember.
I can't
Mike
either.
Ditka.
Yeah, that's what I was saying too. I mean, I loved Lovey, but when he was first hired, I was like, okay, he's a great defensive coordinator, but I don't know. And then his press conferences never really inspired me much, but he was a good head coach. There's no doubt about it. But got to go back to Ditka. Hallis makes the announcement that Ditka is the head coach, and Jim Finks announces that he's upset that he wasn't consulted, given he was the general manager. He quits and stays one season and then quits. But Ditka came in with a fiery attitude. Was cleaning out lockers of players who weren't hustling, and you almost get that sense that Ben Johnson's ready to start packing up somebody's pads and stuff. If the guy doesn't
rock,
I love it, man.
It's got to be a T-shirt, man. We got to get that on a T-shirt.
Absolutely. And what do you think of his comments about DeAndre Swift, the running back? He was very complimentary, saying, I've played with, I've coached them, followed his career afterwards. Does that give you confidence that DeAndre will be the running back getting the most carries in 2025?
Not really, but I'll tell you, it does. If you're reading between the lines, it's like we don't really have any running backs on this roster besides Swift. I mean,
I like Roschon Johnson, but
Roschon, he's great on the goal line and stuff, but again, he's not always available.
Right. Durability seems to be an issue. Yeah.
The best ability sometimes is availability.
Yeah.
It's obvious that he's been watching some tape of all the Bears games and all the breaking down all the Bears players. And I mean, I have Swift's stats, because I knew we were going to get to this, but his season stats. Let me see. So here's last year he had 959 rushing yards, 6 touchdowns, 3.8 yards a carry, 42 catches though, 386 yards. Didn't have any touchdowns on the passing plays, but 9.2 yards per catch. So I mean, he came up with some big plays during the season.
Yes, he did.
He has speed. He's got a lot of speed. He could take it to the house and stuff. So, but
I still think that the Bears, because of how rich this running back class is, I think they're going to take one in day 3. I doubt that they're going to get one in the first 3 rounds unless they trade down and acquire another second-round pick or a third-round pick. And but I think that the difference between the 3rd or 4th back in this NFL draft isn't that much different than the 12th, 13th, 14th back. And then you can still find good backs if you've got the 20th, 25th back in this draft. That's how deep this draft class is for the running back position.
All of Ashton Jonty at number 10 overall kind of, would be so Bears if they draft a running back in the top 10.
Yep.
When we have offensive and defensive line needs,
way back when we had Thomas Jones and we drafted Cedric Benson.
Yeah, 4th overall, I think.
4th overall.
Yeah.
Greg shares the story that it was on Lovey's insistence. He wanted that type of back, and that was probably the last time we saw backs go that high. There was 4 backs gone in the first 5 or 6 picks of that draft, and after that,
Ezekiel Elliott went 4th overall, not too long ago, but
Ezekiel Elliott. There have been some backs that cracked the top 10 in the last several years, but not as many running backs in the first round. It's been a while since I recall there being 3 running backs chosen in the first round. It's usually 1 or 2.
Yep.
Hey, we got our guest here. Should we bring him in?
I love when guests are punctual.
How about it? And this particular guest just the mention of his name makes me very hungry. Why don't you do the introductions, Tooch?
Yeah, I follow Fitz's account, and he's always doing these videos. I live in Iowa now, so I miss the Chicago food and stuff.
Oh,
and
okay.
for me, it's great to see all the you chowing down on all the food. I know you have a special love for tavern pizza, so
Yes.
we've got
All pizza.
all pizza. Talk about that. You love
Within reach.
Chicago sports and everything. And if you're not following him on X, Barflies, it's at Cheap Seats 411.
Yes, that's it.
What should we call you? FitzMagic?
Just call me Fitz. That's goes back to high school, so we're good with that.
Well, I'm Tooch. That's Aldo, the barkeeper. Welcome to Bears Barroom or Barroom Network.
It's a pleasure to be on. Thank you for having me on. This is I've been following you guys since I think 2018.
Wow.
I had an interaction shortly after that Bears season. You were asking the question of what should the Bears do to improve, and my first response was offensive line, and here we are.
Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed.
That's right. Fitz, our opinion matters not to the Chicago Bears organization. That is for sure. But I'll tell you something. Your opinion does matter when you're reviewing foods. I spent about the half hour or so at the FitzMagic YouTube page, and
thanks.
You got a wide assortment of videos. I'd like to, for the audience, play one of your shorter videos. This one is a minute long, and it's about a place that I visited many times on Narragansett Avenue. It's about Jay's Beef. Yeah, here it comes.
FitzMagic Eats goes to Jay's Beef, sponsored by Growth AI Partners. Jay's Beef at 4418 North Narragansett in Harwood Heights has been a Northwest Side staple since 1976, when the Fortuna family began serving their homemade Italian beef. Their homemade beef with their unique giardiniera set Jay's apart from other beef sandwiches. This is a true Chicago classic. Their Italian ice is the perfect summertime treat. And did I mention they also have pizza puffs? Jay's knocks it out of the park with a whopping 340 on the Fitzometer. That's Jay's Beef at 4418 North Narragansett in Harwood Heights, Illinois. Where should I eat next? Comment in the replies, hashtag FitzMagic Eats, and don't forget to check out all of my reviews on my YouTube channel, FitzMagic Shy.
Great job. Outstanding.
Harwood Heights, man. There's a lot of Santucci's in Harwood Heights and Norwich, I'll tell you.
That's for sure.
So that's like my old stomping grounds. In fact, I was just back there. My cousins, actually my Uncle Lee used to be the janitor at St. Rosalie's in Harwood Heights. And went back for Santa Liberatore over the summer, which is like a big feast of Santa. They have Italian food and everything. Everybody comes in, everything. And then Jay's, of course, I know. Vince's used to have really good pizza over there, good Italian food. Man, my old stomping grounds, I miss. I used to live Portage Park for quite a long time around Montrose and Laramie. Used to visit places like Toots. I don't even know if it's still there.
No, it's not. I went to high school at Luther North. So Toots, we used to get little coupons for Toots for hot dog and fries for $1.99. So I know Toots, but unfortunately it's not there any longer.
Fitz, how did you come up with the idea for your YouTube channel?
The whole food thing kind of stems back to COVID, when everybody was just sort of, grilling and showing everything on Twitter at the time. And that's kind of just, it started there. And then my daughters, I'd take them out to eat and they'd start asking me questions, what do you think of it, Dad? And it's just like, I never intended on doing that. It just sort of just happened. And then I started working with On Tap Sports for a year. And Tony over there asked me to start doing some food reviews, and did a few there. And then I just went on my own, and it's just kind of like, here I am. I just love it. But yeah, I just my dad used to take me around places all the time, and he was always like, "Nah, we're not going to McDonald's. We're going to try this." So he kind of got my taste buds going for different things, and just seeing what the city has. And so I grew up on the north side. I was born on the south side. Spent some time on the west side, and so it's and Chicago just has everything you want at any time of day. And it's just I want to try it all, or I'll die trying. So.
Love it. Fitz, when I get a guest coming in from out of town, give me a recommendation on where I should take he or she or them to eat that isn't popular like a Portillo's, which is, you got to take them to Portillo's if they're here for a few days. But give me a name of a place like a Jay's that people may not commonly know.
So, okay. I think I need to do a YouTube tutorial on this subject because
you're asked a lot. Huh?
There's so many places, and it's like, okay, when people do ask me, it's like, okay, well, where are you staying? Because I'm sure I can find something wherever you're staying in the city. So like north side, my first, if you're looking for Italian beef, I would say Jay's. West side, I would say Johnny's. That's a good one to go.
Yeah, Johnny's. Elmwood Park.
South side, you got Tony's on Pulaski is a great one. There's one in my backyard over here in Palos Park called Frangella's. It's a little Italian market that has
I heard of that one. Yeah,
the best. It just so yeah.
Somebody said that they went to Frangella's based on your YouTube review.
Oh,
B Minor just said that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Pretty
Hope
cool.
you liked it. So.
I hope you're getting kickbacks from some of these restaurants.
Not you, yeah. I kind of just like showing up, on my own and just trying to do it that way. But yeah, I like the folks up at Hagen's on Montrose up in Portage Park. Yeah, I've known them for years.
Yep, it's right down from where I lived. I could walk there. Yep,
it's a great
Hagen's
place.
Fish Market. Yep,
I think it's one of my all that aside, it's one of the best places in Chicago to go. It's been there since the 40s and really hasn't changed much at all if you go in there. So
growing up, what was your neighborhood?
Albany Park.
That's what I thought. I was telling Aldo before I said I think he's from Albany Park.
Yep, right by North Park University. Yeah,
show your Little League pictures.
Right, River Park. Yeah, River Rats. Yes,
River Park, River Rats. Yeah, yes. I love it. The uniforms back then. That was when I played. There was just like so basic. It was like the iron-on letters and numbers.
Yeah, or the
basic hat.
I was on you always had the big the sponsors like Sherman Shoes Pirates. That was my team, my Little League team, and it was this black and yellow, and that was about as close to the Pirates as you get. Now it's like they just replicate the pro teams for these kids, and it's like, man.
Yeah. I was telling Aldo when I lived in Portage Park, I used to go to a diner called Super Cup. It was on Central. And they used to have like sweet and sour cabbage soup.
Oh,
and
wow.
I made it last weekend. It came out really good, just from memory. I'm basically looking at a sweet and sour cabbage. But I used to hang out there, get meals there a lot because it was a classic blue plate special diner. And I dated a waitress there too.
Oh.
When I was there, I would hang out with the owner, an old Greek guy named Spiro. And I'd be like, man, I kind of love the sweet and sour cabbage. He'd be like, yeah, a little old Russian lady comes here twice a week and makes the soup.
Jeez. Wow.
Yeah, the Super Cup. I don't know. I don't know if it's still there anymore, but probably not there anymore. But
did you were you around for the Green Buffet on Irving Park? Did you ever?
Green Buffet.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Was
it on Irving Park Road?
Yeah, it was on Irving Park. It was
Irving
there
Park.
in the early 90s, I know, because we meet there they had a good breakfast buffet. Sometimes, if we had a late
okay. Yeah, I think I went one time for the breakfast buffet.
Okay.
But Irving Park going west, I used to go to Jolly Inn. It's like a Polish buffet.
I'm familiar with that. Never ate there, but I don't know. But that name definitely rings a bell.
Frank's Pizza was like kitty corner from there. 6500 block of West Belmont. They had the best little tavern style pizza.
Okay.
You haven't been there to Frank's?
No, I have not.
6532 West Belmont, somewhere around there. I used to order from them all the time. That was my go-to when I lived at Portage Park. But that's like Dunning Square.
Okay.
Neighborhood, Dunning.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah. Okay.
Any of you guys recall the Orange Garden, the Chinese restaurant on Irving Park Road? Oh, man, back in the 70s, I dated a girl who lived back around then. I'd take the bus to Irving Park, and
pick her up at her house, and we'd walk over to the Orange Garden, had plenty of meals. And I just saw on the internet that they're still open. So that place has been around for 50 years.
Jeez.
Better check for dust in
yes, there's
chicken chow mein.
Irving and Major. So that's like around my neighborhood. That's like, Jefferson Park, Portage Park, but that's where the patio was around there, Aldo. The patio.
Right. Yeah. Patio movie theater. We're talking about that before. Really good. And Fitz, have you ever been to a place that really disappointed you and you thought to yourself, maybe I shouldn't do a video, I hate to destroy their reputation, or do you go after them?
No, I haven't gotten to that point yet. If I post it, I liked it. So good. I'm gonna that's just kind of my thing. I remember saying I was at a place, I won't even go and say the location because I went in for a hot dog and it was the worst, just it had been in the steamer for 4 hours type of a thing. It looked white and all that. Yeah. But the lady that served me, behind the cash register was so sweet. She was so nice. I'd probably go back there for a Coke if I passed by. So yeah, that's just not my thing.
That's good, man. I appreciate that. Yeah.
So if I posted, I liked it. So
yeah. Flex Diggs has been to all these places, Aldo.
Wow.
Yeah. He must live around there and stuff. But for my thing, I miss a lot is the Rico Bene steak sandwich. I used to go eat. There used to be Rico Bene
steak. Yeah.
Breaded steak sandwich with red sauce on great bread. They had awesome fries too. Mm-hmm. And I know that I used to go to the one on Lake Street because I used to work in the Loop. And I remember I would go leave for lunch, go down there and sit down there. Sometimes by myself. I was walking in, and Roger Ebert walked out right in front of me. He's short. He's a little guy. Yeah. He was a little guy. Yeah, little guy. Walked out in front of me. He was like, "Excuse me." And then I was like, that was Roger Ebert. Yeah, I miss the Rico Bene's bread steak, man. It's a great sandwich.
Yeah. Their the chicken Vesuvio sandwich is very good great. Too. Yep. Some would say it's better, but
have you done a Rico Bene? I think you did, right?
I've been there a few times and posted, but I've never done a review there.
Right.
I'll get there.
Tell us about a place or two that you're considering doing a video on soon.
Okay, so I'm dropping Fatso's Last Stand on Friday. That burger just melts in your mouth. It's like I was at the Lincoln Park location for that. The one offhand, there's I've been getting into egg rolls have become sort of a thing that have jumped from just like a Chinese side to everybody's stuffing things in egg rolls now. And there's a place up in I believe it's Maywood that has jerk chicken egg rolls. They have a gyro egg roll. Damn. So I'm thinking of heading over there and just seeing what that's all about. But yeah, it's like egg rolls and tacos are another thing where everybody's just throwing everything into a taco. And
how about it? Do you check on your cholesterol level throughout the year?
Yes, I even posted on that. I had my yearly checkup and everything came back good. So, and I try to post some of the healthy things that I eat,
Yeah, I love it.
But yes, I do. And I do the exercising, walking the stairs out at Swallow Cliff and getting my steps into. So, yeah.
If you don't mind, can you share about your kids and how they help you with the videos? Do they provide suggestions of what to eat or give you opinions on the food?
Well, so my oldest daughter, she's a little more bougie than I am. Yeah, but,
whose daughter isn't?
Yeah, but if you check her Instagram, I forget what she's Andrea is her name. If you look up Andrea Fitz, it'll come up. And cool. Her Instagram, she has such an eye for these food, for the places that she's at. She's beyond me. I mean, I look for her to pointers like, how did you do this? And she'll say, okay, put the camera here. Here's where you're going to crop. And, it's
nice
that way. And, my youngest daughter, Samantha, now she's more like me when it comes to taste. Yeah. So like she was at Jay's with me and a lot of the places she used to go with me before she moved out of the area. But yeah, they're both just with their tastes and Andrea with just her talent has helped me out a lot.
Awesome.
I look at some of my earlier videos to now and just like, oh wow, just can't believe people actually watch that.
Yeah. She's got producing skills, huh?
The music too is great in the background. I love the music. Oh, it's like a retro music, just like gets you into the mood to go out and eat.
Just try to find something that sort of fits the food that I'm showing,
Well, the questions about food are going to keep coming. Okay. Why don't we talk a little football and then get back to some of the food questions? Sure. Yeah. So Fitz, you got to be as excited as Tooch and I and everyone in the chat is about Ben Johnson. Your thoughts?
I couldn't believe it. I had the bar set low. I'm like, they're just not going to get him. Somehow why would he? Because once you start looking at the organization, it's like, somebody really going to want to come here? I mean, are they going to end up with somebody that's, just trying to get a job or something like that? But when it happened, I was like, okay, all right, let's go. Let's just dive head first. I'm all in again. And, I'll, see where we're at in 3 years, how long the honeymoon's going to last. Because, that's, now, as I get older, I start to think, okay, at what point is the media going to switch on this guy? Whoever it is, at some point, it's just the honeymoon ends. It's like, can you go back and look at the very point where that is? To me, that's always interesting. I remember going back all the way to when Dave Wanstedt replaced Ditka. How popular Ditka was. Wanstedt was the guy.
Yes,
everybody wanted that year, and they got him.
Yep.
And by the time his 6 years were done, he could hardly go to a restaurant, with his family because it got that bad. So you hope that never happens, but you just know it's the name of the game. You're hired to get fired, but I'm really excited about Ben Johnson. We'll hopefully have a modern day offense, and it sounds like the interviews yesterday, especially the one on ESPN, there at ESPN 1000, it's not just his playbook. It's like he's going after other ideas. It's not, you think about, I don't want to go back to Matt Nagy, but it just seemed like he was there and this is how it's going to be. I know it's going to work. You've got to you've got to execute. Whereas it just seems like Johnson's taking in other philosophies to try to mix it into one, and we'll see where it goes. It's an exciting time and a scary time to be a Bears fan, I think,
for sure,
because we've been burned so many times here in the last few years. So
when did you start being a Bears fan? Like
probably the worst time that a Bears fan could be, 1984. Okay, so I'm 8 years old and I'm watching the 84 Bears going, all right, get real excited, and they lose. You say, okay, they're going to come back. And the next year they go 15-1 and win the Super Bowl. At 9 years old, you're like, well, this is how it's supposed to be. And it's never really gotten back to that. One Super Bowl since then.
40 years later.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I always think it was the worst time to become a Bears fan because you just, you got that huge rush from the Super Bowl, and it just never returned to that. So,
for me, it was 1974. All we had was Walter Payton, and all those before me. So this is my 50th year of being a Bears fan, pretty much 50th. Yeah. 50 years of Bears fandom.
Fitz, the first year that I remember watching or listening to, because the home games weren't on local TV, was the 1969 season. I followed a little bit of 67 to 68, the 1969 season, and they were 1-13 that season.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
And for some reason, I stayed on as a fan. Just, I had gone to the library and checked out books about the history of the Chicago Bears. I know, well, it's only a matter of time since they're going to get back to the 50s and win championships and stuff. Oh man, it's been a painful ride. Only one Super Bowl, 2 Super Bowl appearances. I treasure both of those. But yeah, it's been tough to be a Bears fan, that's for sure.
And those teams back then, they had Hall of Famers on them.
That's the weird thing.
I don't know why they didn't win more. It just they were really had awful records.
Yeah, quarterbacks and head coaches is what I attribute it to. They didn't have a superstar quarterback or lack thereof, right?
Yeah.
And the coaches, with the exception of a couple, Lovey and Ditka, just were uninspiring. And in some cases, Ditka should have had 3 Super Bowls, but he ruined the good thing because he was focused more on building his empire of endorsements and things like that. And I felt awful that he did that and did that to the players too. They were upset with him because there was a report that he told the players, focus on football, don't focus on the endorsements. And then they turn on the TV and there's
he's everywhere. Limousines and soup and underwear. I mean, he was everywhere.
Yeah, and even to this day, when I go to the supermarket, there it is, Ditka's beef. There it is, Ditka's wine. There it is, Ditka this and that.
Yeah, right. He does. He still has Italian beef sausage.
Yeah, you haven't tasted the Italian beef?
Yes, yeah.
What do you think?
It's good. Getting things out of the store isn't quite the same. It's not as fresh.
That's for sure.
But yeah, it's good. I think Jewel still has them. It's decent. So
we have 0 Italian beef in here.
No,
it's like we're one of the largest beef producers too.
Right.
In the country.
That is weird.
There's a market there. Come on, take
That's right, Tooch. Come on.
Yeah, I know.
I'll find some investment dollars. We'll get you going.
Which is your favorite beef in Chicago area?
My favorite, I would say, is Jay's.
Jay's, okay.
Because and then this is something I get into is like, what is our favorites? It's the things we grew up with. It's the places that are, our dads took us to, our granddads, and Jay's was an after school thing. We go after practices and whatnot, and Jay's is my favorite. I'm sure somebody will say something's better, but that's the beauty of this place.
Well, yeah, everybody's taste buds are their own taste buds, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't say whatever they're saying is better is bad either.
Yeah.
Like there's so many. Like my favorite place to sit down and get a hamburger or a hot dog is Charcoal Delights, right at Kedzie and Foster.
Okay, I remember that place
in
too.
Albany Park.
Yeah.
That's where my granddad took me during the summers when he lived with us. So we'd walk up there almost 3 or 4 times a week, and so I still love their hamburgers. But yeah, it's all about the neighborhoods. It's all about what we grew up on, and
sure.
And it's great to have a debate like that, I think.
Yeah, it really is. Cliff is bringing up
White Castle.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think? Thumbs up, thumbs up.
Oh, I'm always up for a good White Castle.
Yeah, it's hard to give it a thumbs up. It's unfair also to give it a thumbs down. I prefer to give it a 4-finger in the mouth. But it's not bad. I grew up on White Castle burgers, man. If I had $1 for every White Castle burger I had, I'd have a lot of property.
It's good stuff. It is. There's a time and place for it.
Absolutely. And it's high quality beef. It is 100% USDA beef, so there's nothing to complain about there. That's for sure.
That's right.
Back to the Chicago Bears. Fitz, what are your thoughts about Caleb Williams?
Yeah, that was my question too.
Okay, go ahead and ask it.
No, that's all right. Well, what do you think, Caleb Williams, the real deal?
I think, as long as he doesn't get run over next year, I really do. I think there's a lot there. You've seen it. How many? He had game winning.
Oh, no.
We don't want that, but it's very possible that it could be. He had game winning drives. I mean, he led them down.
Oh, yeah, fourth quarter.
They just couldn't. The Green Bay game, the Detroit game, the Washington game. I mean, he had 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns. I mean, what more could the guy do? So I think he's proven that he's got the ability, and just gotta protect them. You just gotta protect them, and that's the number one.
We need a whole new offensive line, except like right tackle.
Yeah, it could take another year, and that's why when I see reports of them talking to running backs, I'm like, Well, maybe they're just throwing it out there to get other teams thinking they're going after this, because I think they just got to put as much capital that got into the trenches on each side, the offensive line and defensive line too, because that just they couldn't control the line on offense and they couldn't stop the run on defense. I mean that. Yep. You can't do that. You're not going to go anywhere.
The general manager of the Eagles, Howard Roseman, today at the Combine said that he had an addiction towards drafting offensive and defensive linemen. And I wish General Manager Ryan Poles was that way. You would think that he would be too. And it's funny, in one of the interviews he did from Indianapolis for one of the radio shows, he said that safety is the most difficult position to scout. But that's where he's had his greatest success with Brisker and bringing in Byard, a veteran and stuff. So he's hit there, and they said that offensive lineman was the easiest for him because he's played the position. And so the obvious question is, what went wrong?
Yes, I saw that post of yours. Yes, and how you don't just jump on that, because that was when he came in 3 years ago. Oh, he's an offensive lineman guy. Yes. He'll figure it out. And here we are. He's made moves there that have not turned out anywhere close to what you'd want. But that was another thing about Johnson talking about the offensive line. He wasn't talking about 5 guys. He's talking about 8 or 9, so they've got a long way to go to get to that point. Because, you've got one guy here who's good and one guy who might be good if he's healthy. You need 5 guys you can count on, plus 3 or 4 behind them that can get the job done, because these guys are going to get hurt,
Very true. Very true. And Ben Johnson was asked about that. How quickly can you turn things around? And he, cited the Jaguars last year signing 2 big high-priced guards, and said, it might be impossible to turn their whole thing, I'm paraphrasing here, just turn the entire offensive line around. But sometimes, 2 or 3 players can really help change things up. And so he spoke from a positive perspective that I found authentic and believable. So, and no one can help an offensive line better other than good coaching, both during the practice field and in game, where you're calling plays that will help offensive linemen get the job done by having speed rushers chipped, by getting rid of the ball quickly, what have you. It seems like Shane Waldron and Matt Nagy had no concept at all as to what was going on in the field with the pass rush, and just avoiding the fact that they've been pressuring our quarterback, and yet you're still throwing it over and over again with the same results. It's unbelievable.
Nagy seemed to have this, because you would hear him talk about each play should be a potential scoring play, as long as it's executed right. That was the whole thing. It's like, just run the play right and we'll score. And like that just didn't, pan out that way at all. But you can scheme as much as you want, but you still got to have the players in there that can really turn the game around. And they need some right now, and then they need more too, because these guys, they get hurt, and you just got to have the depth behind them, and that's where they should be at in this part of the whatever you want to call rebuild. They should be filling in those positions and adding depth, and instead it's like they're starting all over in some spots.
Right. So. What about the draft, Fitz? Or let's start with free agency first. Obviously, everyone in Chicago wants Trey Smith. I mean,
everyone in the country wants.
Exactly. It's just not Bears fans. Yeah. Exactly. Good point. So, aside from Trey Smith, do you have an eye out for any free agents that you'd love to see the Bears target and try to bring to Chicago?
I don't. No, perfectly honest, I really don't. Trey is the one, especially when Kelsey said he's coming back. Everyone's eyes went up, because it's like, okay, they got to have they're not going to have that money free, because they thought if he's gone. But it sounds like Poles is ready to spend in free agency, and spend for the home run hitters, not the good players here and there, go for the big guys, and because you get a good offensive lineman that knows what they're doing, like he does, and I think that could change a lot of things, because then if this team is half of what we're imagining it to be, especially on offense, that's the best advertisement to come here. So you're thinking, and I'm thinking too, not necessarily this year, but if they put together a fun offense this year and a fun team, we go into 2026, that free agency, there's going to be a lot of players that are going to want to come here, because I think Caleb has that kind of personality, and just people are going to want to play. And if they have that year this year, I know we all want a Super Bowl so bad right now, or to contend, but I think they're still just get this year to really put out there what they can be. And then in 2026, go for it all. So
there you go.
Aldo and I aren't getting any younger.
No,
that's for sure. That's for sure.
No.
All right, so the Bears are drafting 10th. What do you think? Should we trade down? Should we
trade up for Abdul Carter?
Whatever they can do to get offensive line help, I think. I know it's not a great draft, especially for like left tackles and things like that, but I think everything, and like I was listening to you guys earlier talking about, a running back in like the later rounds, which I would be much happier with than using, that 10 spot for one. My guess is they could maybe, I'm thinking like a package deal where they do move down for something else, for maybe, a starter on another team right now, to, put that as a package deal. I don't necessarily think they're going to sit at 10.
What do you think, Tooch?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the first rounds, it's really odd. I mean, most of the value is in the second, third rounds, and for some positions like running back, tight end, even later than that, 5th, 6th, 7th, and some guards and centers and stuff you can get in the later rounds as well. And at the top of the draft, there really isn't a lot, like Abdul Carter. I mean, I don't really I forgot which scout was on there, said he didn't have many first round grades on a lot of players, definitely not 32 first round grades. So it's going to be weird. I think depending on who falls, I think two things. Depending on who falls, it'll be tempting for Poles to trade back.
Yeah.
Or if he does, it would be like a surprise pick, like maybe like someone we haven't thought of, whether he goes for someone like Kenneth Grant, the big defensive tackle from Michigan at 10, or he takes a chance on Kelvin Banks or someone, Armand Membo, at tackle. But I don't think it's in Poles' best interest to draft, as much as we like him, Josh Simmons, because of the injury history. If he gets that wrong,
right,
it's like a giant black mark. As much as we like the player, and I don't know if J2K is in the chat room, that's his guy.
Yeah,
but Josh Simmons might be the best left tackle in the draft, but he blew out his knee.
We need to stop drafting injured linemen too.
Right.
So
the history is there.
Can't take that risk at this point of where the team is. That and Tooch, you mentioned Grant. I don't know about him yet. I still have doubts. And then I was listening to John Gruden, and he said,
"Bullshit! They're that good. They're really good."
All right. He's talking about Grant, I think, there. But I just, with Grant, he's one of those prospects that so many people were talking highly of. And then when I put on some of the tape, I'm like, okay, when's it going to happen? When's that big play going to happen? But I and this is just from a layman's
They're trying
perspective.
to catch the next Jalen Carter, maybe,
Yeah, could be. Now, I don't take my word for it because I'm not a scout by any means. But Samo, who does a lot of tape work, says Grant is more of a nose tackle than a 3 tackle.
A nose tackle gets a hell of a lot of pressure.
Well, Andrew Billings is on the last year of his contract. He got injured in the middle of last season, and it really hurt the defense.
Yeah.
Bringing in his successor and someone who can play snaps immediately, if he's really good enough, then maybe Grant wouldn't be a terrible choice. But I would think that you could trade down and get Grant, in the late teens.
And it might be someone else that takes him that high, not the Bears. But
yep. All right, Fitz, are you ready to going to put you in the spot here?
I know the questions. There's so many questions too.
Well, no, before we get to those,
some of his fans are in the chat room too. They're like, I turned on the show and Fitz is on.
I saw that. But I'm going to put Fitz on the spot here first. And Tooch, if you want to be his assistant general manager, we're going to go over to ProFootballNetwork.com. I have selected a 3-round draft for you, Fitz, and we're up to the 10th pick, and we're getting trades. Let's look over who has been drafted. Cameron Ward, the quarterback, is going to the Titans. Travis Hunter to the Browns. Sanders, the quarterback, going to the Giants. Abdul Carter at 4, where I've been placing him and said the Bears should come up with a scenario where they can trade to the 4th spot. Will Campbell, McMillan, the wide receiver. Mason Graham at 7 to the Jets, and James Pierce at 8. Mikal Williams, who Danny Shimon loves a lot and says if he's there at 10, the Bears should grab him. But here we are at number 10. Let me share with you 3 trade offers that I come in. The Bears trade number 10 and pick number 242, and then they are getting back 24, 97, and 2 picks next year's draft. And then let's go to the second offer, 10 and 242 for 20 and 51 from the Broncos. And then the final offer, the Cowboys are asking for the 72nd pick and the 10th pick for their 12th pick and 44th pick. So let me ask you first, Fitz, do you see a trade scenario there that you like?
I like the Dallas one.
Okay, I kind of do too.
You go down 2, you could, I maybe pick up Banks, and maybe Banks is still around for that. It feels a little bit better picking him at 12 than 10 for some reason. But I kind of like the Dallas scenario there.
All right, let's see if we can counter. If we were to take away our 72nd and then offer instead the 149th.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you think they might take that? Want to propose it? All right, Here it goes.
Sure.
No.
Okay. Oh, those a-holes.
I got a message for Jerry Jones. Fuck you.
Yeah.
All right. So should we just accept it or try another counter?
Call me stupid. I would accept this trade.
I would too. Yeah, I would too.
Yep. All right, there it is. So the Cowboys got Genty with that pick.
There you go. Let
Booker goes to the 49ers, and now we're up at 12. The Chargers are offering a 22 and a 55 for our 12 and 149, plus a second rounder for next year. The Chargers are offering, so they really want to jump up. And then you're not going to make a trade with the Lions. Fuck
no.
What do you think about this Chargers pick? Let me remind you that we'd be falling all the way to 22nd. So there's danger there. And they're asking for the 149th pick for 22, 55 in the second rounder next season. What do you think, Fitz?
I'm going to reject that.
All right. I like the way you're thinking. Let's go and make our draft pick then. So you got a safety on the board, Will Johnson, the corner on the board, Tyler Warden, the best tight end in the draft. And then there's your guy, Kelvin Banks, who was 14th on the board. So you would be taking him at 12. So that's pretty decent value. Do you want to look at any other position players? Because I can go to, let's see, I can go to offensive guards, Wyatt Mellum, Donovan Jackson. Those are all second round grade guys. And then Kelvin Banks, Armand Membu, who a lot of people love, and Josh Simmons are still on the board. Which guy do you want to take, or should we look elsewhere?
I'm going to go Banks.
All right.
I like it.
Tooch, you want to try to talk him out of it?
No, it's a good pick.
All right.
He got better every year. I know people say he was on the ground a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, which guy on the Bears offensive line wasn't last year?
Yes. Yeah, you could definitely do worse than Banks. You got a thumbs up from Cliff Victoria.
I would have considered the cornerback, though. That dude's a shutdown. Will Johnson.
Yeah, you know what? I
place a lot of value on cornerback at the top of the draft. It's one of those positions. It's one of those positions that it's best if you take them high, like quarterback, left tackle, and edge rusher. Like those four are first round picks. Those are the hardest to find.
You agree with that, Fitz?
I agree with it, but I'm still in the offensive line mindset here. Just,
in this case, yep.
Any other year maybe, or but right now I'm still thinking offense or defensive line, one of those.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. You really got to work on the trenches here with at least two of the top 3 picks that you have, and maybe all of them. I love the trade down that you did, Fitz, because now you're going to get 3 second rounders, I believe it is. Number 39, okay. The first pick in the second round is coming up.
All right.
Let me go full frame. Oh, trade off.
Oh,
look at this thing.
Eagles are giving us their whole draft.
Being very aggressive. So
Howie Roseman on the line.
Yeah, they're offering a lot of picks for next season to grab 2 picks this season. I say we go next. What do you think, Fitz?
Yeah. That's be hard. Oh my gosh. Considering where they stand in free agency, I think I might take this.
Really?
A lot of picks next year.
That's a lot of picks next year. They still have a lot. I'm hoping they make a big score in free agency because they've got a lot of capital there. So okay, fine, we've got this, and then next year we got all these. We're still making picks next year. That would be me. I would consider taking this.
What's the other offer?
Here's a good point by Cliff. He says Philly's picks will always be low in each round because they're going to be deep playoff contenders. Sure. So keep that in mind when they say second round, third round, fourth round picks. That's really like another round. So let's take a look at the other offer, and that comes from the Raiders.
Wow.
They're offering 68, 73, and 214 just for the number 39. Yes, this year.
I think I'd take that over the Eagles. Yeah.
All right, and you still got 41 coming up, so you're going to have a pick coming up in just a minute here. So let's accept this deal and tell Tom Brady thank you, and also go fuck yourself. All right, so my favorite running back in this draft is off the board. Yeah, I've got 2 picks coming up, so that trade looks even better and better now. Now the Rams want to give 90, 100, and 126 plus 2 mid-round picks next season for pick 41 of the Bears and the 7th rounder next season. What do you think?
Well, who do we got at 41 that we're looking at?
All right, that's a great question because you've got now. Let's say in your scenario, Fitz, we've already signed Trey Smith and another offensive lineman. You've drafted Kelvin Banks, so you're bringing in already 3 top-notch offensive linemen because in your scenario, we did well with signing some offensive linemen free agents. Okay. So do you want to look at offensive linemen? Do you want to look at defense, a pass rusher?
Let's look at defense, yeah.
All right, so Shamar Stewart, want to give us a quick scouting report on Stewart, Tooch?
Well, I like his line mate on the other side a lot better. He didn't produce a lot, but he is one of those big edge.
A sack and a half.
And players that whatchamacallit likes the big size,
right.
6'5", 280. But for me, I would consider either Jack Sawyer or Landon Jackson. Either one of those two. I mean, Jack Sawyer is a really good player, and he's a bigger edge end too.
That's who I was thinking there too. I was thinking Jack Sawyer before Stewart.
It's kind of a Sam Hubbard type player, you know.
So let's keep that name in mind as we look in the interior of the defensive line. And there's Deion Walker, the big 300 and something 50-pound defensive tackle out of Kentucky. TJ Sanders is a quicker defensive tackle. But Walker, I think, will do a better job stopping the run. And then Collins is also somebody worthy of consideration. But if you're thinking defensive tackle, you got to think Walker or Sanders. And so I would say the choice is between those two players and Jack Sawyer. What do you guys think?
What were you going to say, Tooch?
I like Sawyer.
Yeah, me
good
too.
Ball player.
Another pass
solid. He's real. The floor is really high with Sawyer.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Having a big guy in the middle to clog things up is appealing, but I want another pass rusher, so I would go. Sawyer.
There's some later round tackles that are big. You could do the same. I mean, I like Walker and stuff. He's not as athletic as some of the other defensive tackles, though. But he is a big boy. He's a monster size.
All right, so it is going to be Sawyer, if I heard you correctly.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so let's draft him, and then we've got a pick coming up. This is a 3-round mock. We traded to acquire the 44th pick. Fitz, if you've got to go to bed, I need to leave.
No,
more trade offers. This doggone simulator really is working extra hard tonight to get us trade picks. So drop down 9 spots from 44 to 53, but also pick up a second rounder in exchange for our 4th rounder, pick number 49. Could be a 5th rounder.
Second.
Let's see, and there's another one too to consider. Oh, the Steelers are calling. They want pick 44 and 149 for their 52 and 83.
Pick up an extra 3rd rounder.
Yeah.
We don't have a pick in the 3rd round in this draft.
Well, let me see. Our picks, if I press that, at 68, because we did acquire that 68.
Okay, so we acquired it.
Yeah,
right.
so we got 68 and
we don't have a 4th round pick in this draft. I mean, sorry.
Correct. So let's look at players. Any position that you would like to target in this second pick of the 2nd round, or do you feel safe entertaining one of those trades?
Somebody's calling to get Milroe. I'll tell you right now.
Really? Who's that?
The Steelers.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Oh shit! Samuel told me that I accidentally
Wyatt Milam is pretty good
instead of Sawyer. Sorry, guys.
That's all right.
It happens. Who was the Bears general manager that made some kind of? Oh, he had a trade going on with the Ravens, and then said after, "Yeah, I didn't get the trade in on time," and the Ravens were pissed off. That was Jerry Angelo, Greg Gabriel's boss.
You remember when Minnesota missed their 1st round 2 years in a row?
Yes.
Yep.
They didn't get it in time.
Jesus, that's wild. All right, any position players you want to look at?
You know me, I'm still thinking.
Man, I'd take either Zabel or Milam. Both those guys are good ball players.
Good one.
Zabel,
they like him at center or guard. But I mean, Milam and Zabel didn't allow hardly any pressures or sacks in their whole career at tackle.
Ant Mass is going go defensive tackle or guard. That's what he's suggesting.
We're going down to Walker tackles. Again.
Yeah, Walker's still there.
That is a big boy. I love Collins from Texas too.
Yeah, another good guy. They say Collins is making waves in his senior year, showing NFL potential beyond the stat sheet. Yep. He has the physical tools. And Walker, they write, is simply a massive human being. 6'7", 340 pounds.
I gotta go with Walker.
I love the pick. Let's put that on the board.
He just keeps coming back, and we're like, yeah, we just go.
Indeed. So I made a mistake and picked the wrong guy, but so this is really what it should look like. Kelvin Banks, Jack Sawyer, and Deion Walker. We've got the 68th pick and 73. So this should be fun. Let's see what's going on overall. We're at 52. Steelers pick Trey Amos. So Fitz, while we wait for our next pick, what would you bring in food-wise in your NFL draft room?
My NFL. Go back to Rico Benny's. They do a nice spread when he get some breaded steak sandwiches and chicken Vesuvio sandwiches. I was at a tailgate once, and that's what they had. That was the highlight. And so I might just go up to Rico Benny's and.
I'm not surprised when you talk food. John gets really excited. Really excited.
we just got a Grimaldi's out here.
Oh, nice.
Pizza. I went like opening night, and they were training a pizza maker, and it was awful. But
oh no.
I haven't been back, but if we're gonna,
I lived in Blytheville, Arkansas for 11 years, and we had 3 pizza choices. It was a Pizza Hut, Domino's, and a place called Pizza Inn. I don't know if either of you have ever heard of Pizza Inn before, but
no. I think so, but yeah, I don't know. Put it out of my mind, I think.
Yeah.
All right, here we are.
You don't want to know what the pizza's like in the Philippines. I'll tell you.
What?
It's like
not a specialty over there, Tooch?
No. It's like if the crust were made with like cake mix and the cheese was Velveeta.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
Horrible.
All right, let's take a look at there. No trade offers have come in, so let's look at the players according to Pro Football Network's top ranked players. We got the running back Caleb Johnson out of Iowa, who Tooch I know loves. Yep. Cornerback out of Iowa State, Darian Porter. The big offensive tackle out of LSU, Emory Jones. You got probably the second best safety in the draft available, Andrew Makuba out of Texas. There's still Collins there at the defensive tackle position, Higgins, Winston. Higgins is a wide receiver. Winston is another safety. Denzel Burke, cornerback. What do you think so far, Fitz?
This is where I'm thinking running back.
Yep.
All right.
I'm with you. Johnson would be a good pick there.
Yep.
So here are the top 3 running backs available. Caleb Johnson, DJ Giddens, and Cameron Scadaboo. Sorry, Tooch, go ahead.
For a player that's going to touch the ball 20 to 25 times a game, I'm okay with taking a top talent here at running back. I mean, I know it's deep and stuff, but Caleb Johnson is special, man. He's a home run hitter. He's 6 foot, 220, and he catches the ball real well.
Yeah. Dr. Truth is saying Caleb Williams available in the 3rd round is a steal.
Caleb Johnson,
excuse me.
Put the 2 Calebs together, Aldo.
Yeah.
There we go.
I'm telling you, Fitz, I think you got a good assistant general manager there in the Tooch. Should I hit the draft button?
I say hit the draft button.
All right, you're the man, Fitz. There you go. It's looking good as we work our way down to our next pick, just a few picks away. Porter has gone to the Patriots. Higgins, the wide receiver, to the Jags. The Cowboys, via a trade, I think that was our trade, Omar Norman Lott, the defensive tackle. Now, here's our last pick. And, of course, Craig Ballard. Craig Ballard is calling in from
Chris Ballard.
Chris Ballard. God damn it, I was getting his name wrong.
Isn't that Greg Gabriel's buddy?
Yeah, Greg Gabriel hired Ballard as a scout for the Bears, and Ballard went on to become the GM at Indy. So he's offering the 80th for our 73, and that would allow us to jump into the 4th round, giving up our 7th rounder next year. And let's see, the other offer comes from the Panthers. They're saying we'll give you a 7th rounder next year if you drop one, so we can get a guy that they've got their eyes on.
I wonder who it is.
Yeah, I don't know who it is, but here's what I'm going to recommend to you guys. Let's take away that 7th rounder and say, you really want that pick that bad? Give me your 141. What do you think?
There's no way they're going to take that.
Okay.
It's confirmed. Okay. Fuck them. Well, the trade offer is still there if you want to do it. Any of these trades appeal to you?
I would take the Carolina one. Just
one.
Yeah. Who do they want?
Who do they want? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. All right, let's accept it and see who goes.
It took a safety.
Oh, not yeah. I took a safety. Hold on.
That's a good player, though. I like that pick.
Yeah, Kevin Winston Jr., Penn State, Jaquan Brisker's buddy. So he's going to play at Carolina. The Bears want nothing to do with another Penn State safety, I guess. All right, so let's take a look. More trade offers here. The 49ers are basically doing the same thing. They are one jump pick, up and are giving you the 4th pick, but we have to also throw in 204 from this year. And there's another offer. KC is saying go drop down to 95 and we'll give you a 3rd rounder in exchange for 74 and 242 of this year's draft. They're looking for offensive linemen in KC because we're going to have Trey Smith on our team.
Yeah.
Any of these 2 trades appeal?
Can we counter San Francisco?
Yeah, let's counter them. Let's see what they got. You want to pick this year? How about this? How about since they want our 204, we'll say, okay, we'll give you 204. You give us 189
this year. Okay.
This year.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Propose it.
They'll
confirm it.
Hey!
And they took it. And they drafted Emory Jones, the offensive tackle, out of and another trade offer coming.
Oh, no.
What the hell?
Jeez. Buffalo offering 108 and a 3rd rounder for us to drop to the 4th round. What do you think?
Everybody wants that pick. No, I think we reject it and pick somebody. It's
I love that idea. I think that this could actually happen, guys, because this draft is rich in 2nd round, 3rd round graded players, and so you could see a lot of guys. So let's take a look at Pro Football Network's overall board. They've got the safety out of Texas, the defensive tackle that Tooch likes out of Texas, cornerback Denzel Burke out of Ohio State.
Players.
Yeah. Let's take a look at Fitz. What do you think is more important right now for the Bears to fill? Tight end or wide receiver?
Tight end.
All right, so let's look at the tight ends. Gunnar Helm, who I love out of Texas. I was telling Danny Shimon, I think this guy could be a little better than Cole Kmet. And then you got the speedster, very athletic Elijah Arroyo out of Miami.
Injury history, but good
player. In fact, he's not going to participate in the combine because he is nursing an injury. But those are the 2 tight ends. And just out of curiosity, did we pick a running back already?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, Caleb, that's right. So let's out of curiosity, let's just take a look at the wide receivers. You got Jalen Royals, who I understand is a pretty speedy kid out of Utah State, and then Kyron Lacey. This Jack Beck guy out of TCU? This guy is going to be like a what was the name of
Latin McConkey?
Yeah, but he's a little bigger. So I'm thinking more of Jordy Nelson. I think he could be a long time.
Jordy was fast as hell, though. Man.
Yes,
I don't think Beck has that kind of speed.
You're right. You're right. But this guy has a desire for the ball and a competitive spirit that I love a lot. But anyway,
that's open.
This is your draft, Fitz. So let me know what you're thinking.
And I'm still going back to defense, I think, on this one.
Love it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
All right, these are your top defenders on the board.
The safety is intriguing, man. That dude's fast as hell.
Yeah.
He's a valuable cover safety who brings an intriguing combination of ball skills, route recognition capabilities, and coverage range, according to our friends.
The reason why I say safety is because our starting safety is like another concussion away from being out of the league.
Yeah, you're right.
And then the other safety's 32 years old, who's good. And then Simone Biles' husband's out of contract.
Yeah.
So it's like we don't have safety, but
that's true.
But are you thinking more trenches, Fitz?
I'm thinking Collins out of Texas. I
love Collins too. He's like your Gervon Dexter type,
Yeah.
Well, here's the good news, Fitz, is
fast.
there will be good safeties later in the draft. Billy Bowman, I like him a lot. Ransom out of Ohio State. And then another guy who is a little lower, this kid from Wisconsin, Hunter Roller, he could be available in the fourth round, fifth round. Maxon Hook. So there is some depth there. You could really say the same thing at the defensive tackle position because this kid here, CJ West, he played really well at the East-West Southwest Shrine Bowl game. A lot of people are talking that he may be a early 3rd round pick. So the choice is yours. Those are the defensive tackles. Pick away.
I'm going with Alfred Collins out of Texas.
All right. We gave him every
I don't mind that
possible
pick either. I like him as well, man.
All right. And
Big
here
fan.
it is. This is our 3 round. I don't think we got another pick in this round. Let me just scroll down to make sure we're good. All
I
right.
think
So
the chat room would be pretty happy with this one.
yeah, let's grade this chat room. We have Kelvin Banks, the offensive tackle out of Texas. And this is, of course, the Fitz draft. Shamar Stewart, the no,
We're
not
supposed
Shamar,
to be Jack Sawyer, but
Jack Sawyer, the edge player from Ohio State. So
I can
Banks and
Photoshop
Sawyer.
that out.
Thank you. Yes, we need that. Deion Walker, the big nose tackle out of Kentucky. Caleb Johnson, the running back out of Iowa.
Yeah.
Alfred Collins, the defensive tackle out of Texas. That's not a bad draft. Fitz,
Yeah, it's a
like
great
it.
draft. Yeah, I do too.
you're meeting the media now. Tell us about your draft.
I like it. Let's go. Let's see. We addressed some major concerns and in the trenches. We like what we've got. Gosh, whatever.
As usual, we have too many holes to fill.
Yeah, we got many holes to fill. We're going to see what we can do in free agency.
Fitz, I am so happy that you did not say it's going to be difficult to make this roster this year. The famous last words of Eberflus and Poles. Jeez. Wait a minute. Some grades are coming in. Muck is not happy. He says he's giving you a D. Laz, who says that he last time he was at the Jays on Narragansett, he had some insects in his food. So,
oh my God.
What? Oh no.
And so he's taking it out on your draft, giving you a C-. Any other grades out there?
Wow.
By the way, I've been to Jays a dozen or 2 dozen times. I've never had a bad experience.
Yeah, insect free every time.
Yeah. Hey, but it happens even at 5-star restaurants,
yes,
right?
It does.
Somebody came in on the bottom of my shoe and started crawling around the restaurant. Okay, we got a good grade here. Try to keep hands you a B. All right, before we get you out of here, Fitz, I had I asked a question
on the chat, right?
Yeah, why don't we fire
the chat room had a ton of questions.
Yeah, why don't we fire up the question about pizza? So, what's your favorite pizza joint? Here are some of the other Phil's Pizza from Salmon.
Deep dish and thin crust, though. We gotta go.
Okay.
So, what do you think?
So my favorite place, okay, let's say it like this: favorite place to go get some thin crust pizza, sit down and eat is Palermo's on 95th.
I was gonna guess that. Yeah, it's awesome. Yep,
I love.
Palermo's.
I just the whole ambiance of the place. It's just a great place to chill. My wife likes their chocolate martinis, so it's not just all about the pizza.
Yeah.
So and for deep dish, this place holds a lot of great memories for me. Is the original Lou Malnati's in Lincolnwood. Let's see, I ate
that's
pizza
the original,
there.
Huh? I didn't know that.
What's that?
I mean, that's the one I used to go to, but I didn't know that was the original.
Yeah, that was the first one.
Wow. And
that's where I ate pizza there before the Bulls won in '92 against Portland, the game 6. Before I proposed to my wife, that's where we had dinner. So it's all about the memories and things.
Yeah,
that's why I put those as my 2 favorite places. So
all right, can you comment on any of these? B minor Italian Fiesta thin crust and chicken Vesuvio with mozzarella and gardenia, best sandwich. Giardiniera, excuse me, best sandwich in Chicago.
I can't argue with that. I mean, Italian Fiesta is very good. It's so.
I don't know. Where's that one?
Yeah, I don't know.
There's a lot of locations. The original one is it's just I was just by there when I went to the hoagie place. It's like 81st and Halstead over there in the Auburn Grisham neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they're all over the place. They have them in New Lenox now, and so Italian Fiesta is very good. I would not argue with somebody says that that's the best place. Yeah,
Does Home Run Inn still rank up there for you?
Oh, I love Home Run Inn. Yeah. I mean, especially their frozen ones.
Yeah,
the best frozen. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, on the grill. If you ever try it on the grill, that's the best one on the grill too, because that crust just kind of holds up better. It's a solid.
Cool.
Is the original one is like the best location. That's like when I was working. I used to work overnights in the West Loop, and we would send one of the guys down to get, the original. Which is what
they tore that building down though, and
Sacramento's that was around there, and
it's like
Costa somewhere.
I think.
Somewhere down there, 28th, California. I don't remember.
Because I remember going to that original place. When I was younger, my dad would take us there maybe like once a year, and that when I went back to the original spot, the new place, I was just disappointed with just how it was. Like, it's sort of a very just a very plain square box that you were going to. But the pizza was great. The pizza was great.
They had one in Arlington Heights I used to go to that closed down, Aldo.
Really? I didn't know that.
I think it was on Dundee Road, maybe, up there.
Wow, I must have missed it. For some reason, because I associated
I did not know that.
Yeah, because I associated Home Run Inn so much with the frozen pizza, if I could drive past a Home Run Inn and not think twice about it, because I could just get one at the supermarket.
Did you ever eat the original down in the near southwest side?
I don't recall.
Oh man, it was something.
Yeah,
really fantastic. Yep. Yeah. How about Peace in Wicker Park? Have you ever eat there?
I have not been to Peace.
Oh, that's great pizza. It's a New Haven
on
style.
The list, definitely.
Yeah.
They've done a collab with the Wiener Circle, I believe.
Oh, okay. Wow, nice.
So
that's nice. I know you've been to this place, Gio's on Harlem by Montrose, by the Montrose Bowling Alley.
Yes. Oh my gosh, it's been a minute, but wow.
Yes, D. Starren says it's this everyday pizza place.
Yeah.
Capone's was over there. It was pretty good.
Capone's, yes.
In Harlem,
Yes. All right, I got one for you, Fitz, and it is because my cousin owns this place. I'm going to put this on your list of places to visit if you haven't already. Let me share the screen here. It is Papa's Cache Sabroso. It's a Puerto Rican restaurant on Division Avenue near Western. I can tell you that Victor is my cousin, and he owns the place. He's Papa's. And the chicken is a rotisserie chicken that is just absolutely fantastic. There's Victor there. That picture was taken about 30 years ago, by the way.
That looks great.
Yeah, tell him, hey, your cousin says that I can eat anything off the menu for free, and see what he says after he spears you with that.
Right.
But I would love for you to review this restaurant if you're ever in the neighborhood, and you got to go for that chicken. It just it comes off the bone like just so perfectly cooked. The spices are fantastic. It's what I grew up eating, and so it's Papa's Cache Sabroso. Hopefully you make it over there
That
soon.
will be on the list, definitely.
Awesome. I'll send you the link too.
Okay.
How about favorite neighborhood bakeries? There's a Gladstone Bakery, I'm sure you know, up there. There used to be one on Montrose over just east of the Espresso. I can't remember. It was like Kaufman's or it was a K. I can't remember. I used to order.
Sounds right.
Was that? I think it was Kaufman's. I used to get their Boston cream pie there, man. It was fantastic. So and then Vienna Bakery down on Belmont around. It's around Major. I think it was around Laramie.
I'll be honest, I don't have a lot of experience with the bakeries. Because my mom is the best baker that I know. So we just, we didn't have to go anywhere because she's just always been. She made our birthday cakes, everything growing up, and so I don't have a whole lot. It's something I need to get into though. About
the Irish American Heritage Center that was over not far from my place. They used to go. They used to have dinners and stuff, functions.
Okay,
I've never.
Wow. My daughter had her prom there. Stagg High School used to have their proms there. So, but no, I've never eaten anything from there.
That was around there where I used to live. Orange Park area. They used to have Paretta's and Super Rosa were a couple places over there.
Super Rosa, there was Central. One. Yeah.
Are they gone now, both of them? Paretta's?
No, that's still there. Super Rosa is still, the one in Portage Park is still there. Yep.
Wow.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, Fitz, it's been great having you on, talking Bears, talking food. What you got going on with your YouTube channel, and tell people where they can find it, and what restaurants do you have on your list of near future visits?
Yeah, coming up. So I've got the Fatso's Last Stand. That'll be on Friday, and that's on YouTube. You can find me at FitzMagic Shy. On there, I've got 47 restaurants now on there. I didn't realize I'd done that many. But honestly, it's kind of my days off are Sunday through Tuesday, and it's like, okay, well, it's like a spur of the moment thing. Like, oh, I'll go to this place this time.
Sure.
So, but yeah, so that's what I've got coming up. I said, like, man, I wish I could remember the name of the egg roll place in Maywood, but yeah, I think I'm going to give the jerk chicken egg rolls a try too. So, jerk chicken is everywhere here now too, and there's a jerk chicken pizza that I want to try out there. So it's
nice. We got a crab rangoon pizza out here in Des Moines at Fong's Pizza. Okay. It's like it's a Des Moines institution. It was an old Chinese restaurant that someone decided to make pizzas in there. So there's like a Mongolian beef pizza,
right.
pad thai pizza, all this stuff. It's good. The crab rangoon is actually pretty good, but other than that, we don't have many good pizza places out. We got a Rosati's and a Giordano's. Rosati's makes a decent tavern.
Yeah, Rosati's is very good. That's solid. They've got a good frozen one too. So
solid. Yep.
Great logo, by the way, there, Fitz.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Did your daughter do that one too?
No, she did not. She didn't do that.
And you do like wedding officiating too, I think.
Yes.
If I'm not right. That's so cool. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Just something that it started when my nephew needed some help in a pinch, and I said, okay, and I looked it up, got the online card, and it was a lot of fun. So just, my dad was a pastor, so I had a little experience. I knew the gig. So
cool.
Very cool. Very cool.
Fitz, you're a cool guy. Next time I throw a barroom party over at the house, I want to make sure to invite you because I know you'll bring some really good desserts.
Yeah, right.
Did you ever go to the original Pequods in Morton Grove?
Yes, in fact, I've never.
It's like in somebody's house
in the city. I've only been to the one in Morton Grove.
Okay, yeah, that's the one I've been to too.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of pizzas, have you ever been to the what's it called, the pizza oven grinder?
I have not.
Oh yeah, Chicago Pizza. They have that. That is the weirdest place.
Yes.
If you haven't been there, so there's usually like a long wait.
Oven pizza grinder.
Like the host guy, doesn't write anything down, but he's got like a photographic memory and stuff. First of all, it's in like the basement of like a brownstone.
Right.
And then you're like waiting around. He's the guy who come out. He's like, you're not actually bring you in. And they have that like what is like a pizza pot pie, like inverted.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay, yeah,
it's
right.
fantastic. It smells awesome in there too. When you walk in there.
It is phenomenal. It's a great experience. It's in Lincoln Park, great neighborhood. You will have to wait in line to get in there, but once you get inside, there's this excitement as you order your pizza. You tell them what ingredients you want in that big bowl, and then when they come out and flip that baby in front of you, it's like, whoa, baby. It's a good time. It's a good time.
Sounds wonderful. Yeah, I don't pretend to have been everywhere. I just.
Well, you just started at this, so you got many years to go. Particularly as well as you check your cholesterol. I love it.
I'm watching it.
Yeah.
I love it. Promise me you'll come back and we talk more food and football.
Absolutely. This was fun. I like the draft.
That was a blast.
It's a hell of a surprise for him. I don't want him to prepare.
Just wing it,
Exactly. All right, Fitz. We'll see you next time. Okay, brother?
Thanks, Fitz.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll see you.
What a great guy. What a great
Fantastic.
guy.
I think
man.
The chat room really loved it too, man.
Yeah, absolutely. He feels like a guy that you grew up with and you haven't seen for a while, and now you're catching up on stuff. You're talking about this and talking about that. That was how that whole conversation felt like for me. Great guest booking. You got to do this more often, too.
I try, but people don't respond when I do.
Fitz is the only one that responded.
Fitz is the only one that responded. Yeah, they're like, "Fuck you, Tooch."
I love it. I love it. All right, in this last 20 minutes that we got, because we're going to pull the plug at 11 Central, I wanted to get from Tooch his thoughts on what he has seen on the TV tube, on the streaming services, stuff that he likes, doesn't like, and I'll share a couple of picks too. Tooch, what do you got, my man?
Well, of course, I watched the first 3 episodes of Reacher season 3 drop, so I watched all 3 of those. I found I still enjoy the show because I was a fan of the Lee Child novels and stuff too. So
really? So you read the novels, huh?
Enjoyed some of the novels. Yeah, not all of them, but I mean, when I worked at the place in the West Loop, like nights and stuff, the night janitor would come in. He was always reading something, and he would say, "Oh, you should read these Preston and Child novels." He always had one, got hooked on it from there, but enjoyed that. And then watching Paradise, but I haven't watched the season finale, which we'll probably talk next week about that one.
Absolutely.
But I think I'm sure I'm late to this one. My brother and my nephew were telling me about Invincible on Prime. It's the cartoon superhero. It's like kind of like anti-superhero, very violent. I'm enjoying. I binge watched the first season. I'm on season 2 now. I think there's 3 seasons of Invincible.
Did not know that. I'm pausing here just because Vizzo is saying that Schefter has reported that Abdul Carter has a stress reaction in his foot and will have to decide when to have surgery. So I've gone over to the Twitter machine. I'm going to read Schefter's tweet or X post. Test today revealed that potential number 1 pick Abdul Carter has a stress reaction in his right foot, and the Penn State standout will need to decide soon whether to have surgery, sources told ESPN. There are mixed opinions on whether he needs surgery, and we will figure that out in the near future, Carter's agent Drew Rosenhaus said Wednesday night in Indy, site of the Combine. That is huge news.
That's huge. Stress for us.
Yeah.
Could be a stress fracture is what they're saying, but they just said stress reaction.
Yeah, stress reaction. So it immediately tells me, it would be nice if he fell
what
to
a
10.
bad break for that kid, man.
Yeah, because he was likely to go number 1 overall or at least 2 or 3. There's no doubt.
That's what I was saying. And I got to tell you, I know you're pushing for the Bears to trade up and get him. And like I said, there just aren't a lot of players that you could put a first-round grade on. So trading up for Abdul Carter, I mean, not anymore, but
I would do it.
It made perfect sense.
Yes,
because edge rusher is a huge need for the Bears. We have the cap space to fill out all of our other needs. So you go and make a big splash. Now I heard Courtney Cronin talking. I think with ESPN about the Bears possibly. I don't know. Is he out of contract, Micah Parsons? He's got 1 year left.
Yeah, he's got a year left. So contract
trading for Micah Parsons, who would be 25, and you might possibly get 2 contracts out of Micah Parsons. But that's a guy who can really rush the passer.
Yeah.
Would you trade for Micah?
No,
man,
because
25-year-old too.
Yeah, I know.
You get a lot of life out of it, but
I feel like a guy who's got and it's not a lot, but he's got 40,000 miles on those tires. He can go another 120,000, but he's got 40,000, and plus it's going to be a fucking huge contract.
It's gonna be a big contract.
So I would say if we didn't have Montez Sweat on the team and we needed a real bad pass rusher, obviously you want to have 2 or 3 excellent outside pass rushers.
Yeah,
I don't know. It depends on the asking price. Let me put it that way.
So at 10, because I mean, I'm trying to think if the Bears didn't go offensive tackle or guard, and they went edge rusher. Like, which edge rushers would you think would possibly be worth the 10th overall pick?
See, I don't know. Danny really loves the kid out of Georgia.
Michael Williams didn't have a lot of production, though,
Right.
But he is that larger end. And he will be there probably at 10. We have 5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 21 tackles, and 13 solo tackles. Not a lot, but he did a lot of the dirty work.
Right.
On that Georgia defensive line. He's got a nasty bull rush. I mean, he's more of a power player. You know, he doesn't really have all of the, you know, he's not going to bend the corner like some of these other guys, like James Pierce.
Yeah,
you know, who if he put on a couple extra pounds, man, he could be a really. I mean, right now he's like around 245, so he's kind of like in the Leonard Floyd area. Yeah, Nick Scorton, Sam, I love that kid. That's the guy opposite of Shamar Stewart, who I think is better.
You think Shamar Stewart is better?
No, I think Nick Scorton's better.
Okay, I agree with you. Definitely,
he's faster. He's a guy that's got some pass rush moves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like what I've seen from him, man. A little bit more production. He's only 20 though, huh, Sam? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's a nice big plus. Thanks for that. Dr. Truth says Micah doesn't fit Dennis Allen's scheme. If you are after a huge name, get
or
him
Chase
out.
Young. I mean, Chase Young makes a lot of sense. He played for Dennis Allen last year, right?
Yeah, and has played with Montez, so bring them back, and he'd be a lot cheaper than Myles Garrett. There's no doubt about that.
I mean, Myles Garrett is of the age where he wants to go to he makes the most sense on the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because the Bills have been close, you know, the past few seasons. They're just if they had that extra juice in their pass rush, they might have got past. Probably should have gotten past Kansas City this year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just the defense let him down a little bit, you know, a few turnovers and stuff. But James Pierce is a guy I might look at 6'5", 243. If he beefed up to around 255 to 260, he could really be a beast, man.
Yeah, he could. Now, it's interesting. In Ben Johnson's press conference, he talked, when asked about the pass rush, he took the conversation towards playing complementary football. And so basically what he was saying is if our defensive backs really lock down on receivers, that's going to help the pass rush. It almost felt like he was telegraphing, you know, we may not be able to get that premier defensive end opposite Montez Sweat this year. So what we might do is just solidify our defensive backfield and try to make it really opportune for the guys.
That's why I was kind of like, let's go safety, just because, you know, you get a center fielder, a playmaker out there that can do a lot of things, you know, with a lot of range.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of ways to help a team that is not at full strength at a position level, and so
I think they're gonna take a running back, though. I mean, and I know that they could wait until the later rounds because there are guys like you mentioned, Ollie Gordon,
right,
and such, but Ben Johnson is going to be in there, in Ryan Poles is here and saying we need some more juice in the run game, because he's talked about how he wants to help Caleb by having a strong running game. I think he said it a couple times in his interviews.
Yes, he has.
You know? So I mean, they want to run the ball. They have to get better on the offensive line. They're not going to do the zone blocking. I mean, Detroit ran more of a power run game more than past with under Getsy and Waldron. They had more of the zone run game. And the power running game, you know, they don't have those light offensive linemen anymore. I think Danny Shimon said this too.
Yes, he did.
You're going to have to get a little beefier on the offensive line. And, you know, guys like Coleman Shelton and Braxton Jones, they're lighter offensive linemen. You know?
All right. So one other football thing, and we'll get back to our TV shows. This was a topic. I don't think you covered it on your Bear State Affairs that Eberflus was voted the worst head coach.
Yeah, it was in there.
Did you cover it? I missed it. Okay.
Yeah, 32 out of 32.
Jesus.
Yep, their biggest complaint was that he didn't really manage the practice.
Right, you didn't mention it.
Like,
That's right.
Go figure. Who would have thought? Who would have thought, right?
The week schedule, the use of their time and stuff. Yeah. Unbelievable.
The guy still has timeouts from when he was a Bears head coach.
That's right.
He's kind of saved all of them.
Dr. True says, listening to Ben Johnson gives me so much hope. That's exactly what we were talking about the first half of the show, Dr. Truth. Yeah, this is exciting time to be a Bears fan. Hopefully we can turn this thing around real quickly. Cliff says, Shamar is Hebrew and means to guard. If you're correct about that, that'd be interesting. All right, so I think you left off talking about the season finale of Paradise that you and I have not screened yet, so we'll talk about that next week.
Is anybody in the chat seen it without giving any spoilers.
Well, somebody did, and it is B Minor. He says the new Paradise episode was a movie. Great episode.
Nice. So it's
Can't
extra
wait
long,
to
huh?
see it. Yeah.
Damn.
You know, it reminds me of an old thing. Producers in television and movies say, save a big part of your production budget for the most important scenes.
Nice.
And so maybe that's what they did in this series, since he says B Minor describes it as a movie. Maybe it's filled with production values and it's going to be really cool.
I call it going out with a bang.
Yeah, really. Can't wait to watch it. I might watch it tomorrow morning.
Question for Aldo.
Do you have you used your immense power to influence?
So can we talk about the Arlington Heights Stadium a little bit?
Sure.
Because
take as much time as you want.
I mean, I really want them to have the stadium in Arlington Heights. I know whether you would affect you negative. I mean, I hope it doesn't affect Arlington Heights negatively.
Me.
You know, okay, because to me, it's the best thing for the Bears. You know, for their success, for the future. And they own the land, they own the stadium, they would own all of the concessions, all of the revenue and stuff like that. And they could really build an entertainment district.
Exactly.
So like every time I hear this other crap, I get so worried and nervous. I'm like, why would you do that? You're 10 minutes from O'Hare. You know, there's a train stop that is Arlington Park. It has its own train stop.
That's right.
So if you could take the metro right out of the city out to Arlington Heights, get off, get back on, and go back home.
Absolutely.
So,
I'm with you, Tooch. Listen, I love the romance of the team staying in Chicago in their new stadium. That would look beautiful and so forth. But it would not change the fact that it would be awful to get to and awful to leave. I don't care what kind of design they come up with. The fact that one side of the stadium is water, eliminates the entry and exit points down to 3. And you're absolutely right. If they build an Arlington Park, I might go there on days where there's no football.
There's no game, off season.
To go to the casino that will be there, to do some of the other things. And with
shopping.
the Bears and other NFL teams allowed now to bring joint venture capitalists into the scheme of providing money for stuff, these joint venture capitalists could invest in really cool hotels, gambling casinos, shops, and restaurants. You know, in 5 years, we could have one of the great, stadium experiences. And
why they keep saying we want to stay on the lakefront? It's like no.
Kevin Warren is nuts for even bringing that up.
Ridiculous.
If indeed, now, so let me ask you a question, Tooch. So let's say after the draft or whenever they do announce, so we're going to Arlington Heights, we've got an agreement, shovels will be in the ground before the end of the year. First question for Kevin is going to be, so pretend you're Kevin. Yeah. Here's the question. All right, Tooch, you said you were really invested in moving to Soldier Field, rebuilding at Soldier Field in the lakefront. What happened? Did you goof up on this whole thing?
I would say it was all negotiation, right? Yeah. I mean, he kind of did get what is it, the school district or park district? What was it? The school.
Yeah, it was Friends of the Park, and
to come to the negotiating table, and he got the Arlington Heights, was it Cook County Tax Board to kind of come back to the table,
right?
So, but
Wheaton School District is where those tax dollars go to. And it's actually 3 districts, and Wheaton is one of them. Not Wheaton. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But yeah, it is all about negotiation. But I would hope that he would say something like, listen, I really wanted it in the city. I know a lot of fans did. I know it would be beautiful. It would be great for the city. It would be great for the community, but it just didn't work out, and so no hard feelings with anybody we negotiated with, but we're all invested now in Arlington Heights.
That's all those experiences, like public relations and media coming through there.
Exactly.
Because I didn't think of that, but that's like, that would be like the best thing to say.
Yeah, really. Laz is asking about Landon Jackson from Arkansas. I've seen a little bit of tape of him. Very impressive. Big ass who can move it.
Oh,
nice.
He's fast. He needs a little coaching to reach the stratosphere that he could. He's like 6'7", 280, and he's fast.
Big guy.
And he's strong. So I mean, him or Jack Sawyer, those are the two guys I was considering there. Those are the bigger ends that Dennis Allen likes.
Yeah. What's interesting about this draft? Tooch, give me your opinion on this. I've been saying for a long time that there aren't many superstars available in this draft, but there's a lot of starters. But then now I started to kind of reevaluate that. I think that this draft could potentially produce a 6th round superstar, a 5th round superstar, a 4th round all-pro, something like that. There's going to be some gems that are going to fall that people haven't fully evaluated. Those players have not developed enough to become, a safe predictions for superstars. But I think that this draft could eventually yield some great players. Oh, cool.
Could not agree more. I mean, most of the value, like I said, is in. It's great that the Bears have 2 second-round picks, because I think a lot of the players that are kind of falling in the second round, or if you're looking at projections and such, there's a bunch of like quality players at that second and third round layer. We have like 3 picks, 2 seconds and a third.
Wow.
So I mean, if we were to trade back, a few spots and pick up an extra pick, maybe in the 3rd or 4th. That would just be to the Bears' benefit.
I totally agree. Stack up on some of those draft picks. I think the number 10 pick, unless something miraculous happens. Now, if Abdul Carter were to drop to number 10 and Bears doctor says, all right, we've studied the x-rays, we've touched the foot and done our own, and he should be available to play if he has surgery in October or November, would you pull the trigger on Abdul Carter at number 10?
I haven't really thought about it, but it's like, again, it's kind of like the Josh Simmons paradox, where you're in Ryan Poles. This is his last chance if he doesn't get it right with Caleb and Ben Johnson. And now to use the 1st round pick on a guy that's gone for 2025, isn't even playing. It's just I don't think Poles is kind of, to me, strikes me as someone who's risk averse. He picks a little more safely. Like Darnell Wright was a safe pick over Jalen Carter.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that the franchise is still in that mode where taking risks with top draft picks might not be advisable, because you got to start winning some football games. I mean, your record is horrible, Ryan Bowles.
And if we're going with these big ends, it would help to have one of those, like, what's the guy that you liked? The Aaron Donald. It would help to have an Aaron Donald, pick up a guy like an Aaron Donald. A 3-tech. Tommy Harris was that guy for the Bears. That's what you need to get that pressure up the middle. I know Gervon was getting some pressure, but that was more when he had Andrew Billings.
Yes.
Who also was getting pressure up the middle too. When those two guys were doing. Bears were 4-2. They were getting some disruption in the center of the defensive line. Getting the pass rush up the middle, which is disrupt. That's where you and I both agree. That's why we need interior offensive linemen, because people are focusing on getting pressure up the middle now, right in the quarterback's face.
Right. Now it's interesting because Ben Johnson sounded like he really wants to fix the run defense first and foremost when talking about the defense, because he complained about, that the run defense got a little leaky, and then he brought up Andrew Billings. It particularly happened after Andrew Billings. But there was also a few games, like I went to the first game against the Tennessee Titans, and there goes Tony Pollard running for a 20-yard rushing touchdown. They actually rushed the ball pretty good, and there were criticisms of the Titans offensive coordinator that got away from the run game when they fell behind, or when the game was close. This run defense, to me, is poor primarily because of Tremaine Edmonds. If you don't give him a clear path to the ball carrier, he can't disengage from blocks. And I was so excited about him because of his lateral movement, how much he can be a third safety and so forth. But when you just run at him, and Urlacher had this problem too.
Yeah.
Jerome Bettis ran at Urlacher, and Urlacher lost. And that wasn't the only time he lost. The formula for offensive coordinators was run at Urlacher, and I think it's the same
Run
thing
him over
now with Edmonds.
It is.
So,
100%. That's why they signed Ted Washington and Keith Traylor.
Yeah, right.
They just clogged the middle. And
keep those guys off my linebacker. Exactly.
I don't know if that would be the best strategy, because to me, I think the best strategy would be to get rid of Tremaine Edmonds, and that's a player that I liked coming out of college, but he just hasn't panned out.
Yeah, and it'd be difficult to replace him, but every time, and now I don't know if he can do it for 60 snaps a game, but every time Sanborn is in there, he's making plays. He is much better at reading a play than Tremaine Edmonds. Is he better at disengaging from blocks? It's pretty close. I don't mind having Sanborn in there. If you can find a buyer for Tremaine Edmonds, I would move him. Absolutely. Dr. Truth says I'm right. So
some great comments in the chat room are great tonight. It's like Carter and Simmons might be picked later in the draft and end up on playoff teams that can wait for him. That's probably true.
Yeah.
Dr. Truth also says he passed on Jalen Carter, and if he passes on Abdul Carter. The
Carter catastrophe. I love it.
Yep.
Well, I did, and again, mock drafts are don't mean shit, but I did come up with a scenario on Pro Football Network where they had Josh Simmons falling to the mid-20s, and I had made a trade to go down from 10 to mid-teens, and also acquired a mid-20s, and so I walked out of the draft with Membo and Josh Simmons in the first round. And I'm not saying that's going to happen with the Bears, but that's how I could see the Bears acquiring Simmons, trade down and
get a guy in case Simmons is injured that could fill in.
Because it's a possibility that Simmons, as well as he is, could drop down to late in the first round because of the injury concerns. We'll see how the medicals turn out. That's the big thing right now.
Yeah, it might be in the best interest of Poles to trade back because, like I said, there aren't that many guys when the Bears are picking at 10. If like some of the guys that are ranked, however, some of those guys would be like we saw Will Johnson, the cornerback out of Michigan, James Pierce, Kelvin Banks, Will Campbell, a few other guys, but not a lot. The guys that'll be available. I wouldn't take, as much as I like Luther Burden, I wouldn't take him at 10 or Tyler Warren, at 10. It's just too high. So.
I'll tell you what, Luther Burden, I just studied some of his tape. He was a focus on the Kuiper, Field Yates podcast called First Draft. I don't know if you catch that, Tooch. It's on ESPN's YouTube channel and on the ESPN. They do two new shows a week, I think Monday and Thursday. And they do a nice job of covering, the big names, but also names that you should know for 4th, 5th, 6th round picks. And they did a thing on Luther Burden, and the word on him is that if he were to come out last year, he could have potentially been a top 10 pick, but this past season, for whatever reason, his play has dropped down a bit, and so there are a lot more question marks, and that he could even go late in the first round. Wow. Potentially, Field Yates said, even early in the second round. So that's huge news. A lot will depend on how he runs at the combine. So he's one of those players at the combine a lot of people will be looking out for. Membo is so damn polished. I play him at guard, Dr. Truth says.
He can play tackle, too.
Yes.
I know he's shorter, but we've had Tyrone Smith played for a long time. He was like 6'3", 6'4". He was pretty damn good.
That's the beauty of Membo, is that he gives you versatility. So, if your left tackle or right tackle goes down with an injury, you can move him out there with confidence. Could possibly, too. That versatility is so important.
So important. Yep. Problem with the Bears last year. We were playing Matt Pryor everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. He was our can do it every everything player, but
ran like his shoes are made of cement.
Yeah, unfortunately, just too big to play in an offense that's geared for athletic offensive linemen.
I mean, his probably best spot would be like right guard or right tackle. Obviously, which we had him at right guard, I think.
Yeah.
But I mean,
after Nate Davis was released, he went over permanently at
right. He played
guard.
left guard, did he? Yeah, right guard.
Yeah. Samo says Membu can play. There's no doubt about that, brother. Yeah. And Dr. Truth says, can you imagine our defense in 25 with Myles Garrett? Oh my God, might be the best defense in the NFL. It is true. You could potentially have the best defense, but you might not have.
Like I said, though, he's not going to want to go to a team that's kind of like rebuilding.
Yeah.
He's at the point where he wants a ring.
A lot of people are saying Detroit.
Yep.
A lot of people
Buffalo.
are saying Philadelphia, Buffalo. Yeah, those are the teams that are likely to nab them. But you never know. There are some surprises ahead.
Philadelphia took some shots at edge before last season that didn't work out, but Josh Sweat was the guy that did work. I think they signed Bryce Huff, and they had Hassan Reddick as well too. And Huff and Reddick didn't. Reddick just kind of flamed out and left the team or something. I think, right?
Yeah.
Is that what happened? Or,
right. Yes.
And then he held out or something. Bryce Huff didn't do anything, and Josh Sweat was the guy. Josh Sweat was the guy that showed up in the big game.
We need to hire Vizzo as our kind of NFL reporter. Look at what he got now. He says, did you read about Jordan Schultz of Fox Sports confronting Ian Rappaport at a Starbucks in Indianapolis? Schultz cussed him out and threatened Ian, and Ian got NFL security. Yeah. Vizzo Joe, our TNC reporter. He is now the one of the insiders at Fox Sports. Is it Jordan Schultz, or is his last name different? I think it is Schultz. He's like, you can find him on the Colin Cowherd show once a week.
Right, but his first name isn't Jordan though. It's something else.
Let me see.
Is it Will Schultz?
Ian Rappaport. Jordan Schultz. That's
okay.
It
is Jordan Schultz.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't think that.
Yeah, this is Awful Announcing is reporting what once appeared to be a good old-fashioned source of between Schultz and Rappaport reportedly escalated into something more. On Wednesday, a pair of NFL insiders, Schultz and Rappaport, talked about a meeting between the Raiders' minority owner, Tom Brady, and quarterback Matt Stafford. The meeting happened at a ski resort in Montana. That much is undisputed. But while Schultz reported that it was a planned meeting with Brady hosting Stafford, Rappaport reported it as a chance encounter, and that's what drove them into this battle. Love it.
Wow. That's right. I mean, I can't imagine. I mean, the Rams would be stupid to trade Stafford, but
yes,
I mean, they would go with Jimmy Garoppolo if they didn't have Sean McVay thinks.
Well, what about Aaron Rodgers?
Right, or sign Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. I mean, Stafford
just weird. I keep thinking back of that time where like Robert Saleh wanted to hug him. He's like, "Get the hell off of me!" It's like he's just a weird dude.
He is. I have to believe that any general manager would say, "Dude, you have to pay us, to play on our team." But I don't know. Visit wants to join our staff. Absolutely, brother. I'll be in contact. We'll call it Vizzo's Views or something like that. And you do a 5-minute segment on what's happening throughout the NFL. That would be cool. MC Fact says top defensive tackles, Mason Graham.
You love Mason Graham, right?
I love him.
Yeah, I wouldn't be. I mean, I don't think he'll be there.
No.
But if he was there at 10, I would
absolutely
probably select him.
Yeah.
I think it's worth it. He's one of the guys I think is worth that number 10 overall pick.
Yeah,
I agree. For me, it's like the guys who are worth the pick are like obviously Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter. Who else? Who do you think? Mason Graham.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Cliff says the fact that it happened at a Starbucks provides an intriguing coincidence. Schultz is the son of former Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz. Oh,
wow! I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. So Jordan is a nepo baby, huh?
Wow.
He could probably be a lot richer if he was working at Starbucks. I'm surprised he's not.
Well, what do you think about? So earlier in the show, I commented that like first round for me are players that are worth first round picks are quarterbacks, edge pass rusher, cornerback, like a shutdown corner, and left tackles. What do you think? Is there any? Would you add anybody else? Maybe wide receiver onto that like list of?
Yeah,
it would have to be a really special wide receiver,
right? I think because of college football is now primarily a passing game. There's a lot of good wide receivers who come out with lots of experience and so forth. I would expand it from the left tackle position to almost everything but center, because you can find good centers in the second, third round. But I me, how I value the guard position. I really think, particularly now with Ben Johnson.
Quentin
Nelson.
Quentin Nelson. And he's still a good player.
Yes, he is. Definitely going to Canton, as I predicted. And Phil and Shane made fun of me. And I'm like, guys, just look at the tape. And Shane thought it was primarily based off of a pancake block that went viral by Quentin Nelson on an opponent. But it wasn't that. It was
guy was solid.
What he does every single play, which is, beat his man and then get downfield and beat another man. It's just it was
now
clear.
He's what, like 32 now, would you say, or 34?
I would say he's probably 30. That's going to be my guess. Let me see. Quentin, I know he spells the name a little differently than I would. Quentin Nelson is now 28 years old, so
it's only 28,
still in the prime of his career.
And he's locked up with Indy, right?
He is locked up with Indy. There was a rumor that Nelson was going to be on the trade block, and Ballard shot that down, saying there's no fucking way we're going to let that guy go. And that's how I would feel. So Cliff adds a little bit more to the reporting. He says it's from Mike Florio. The quote is, "That's it. It sounds as if tensions between the two reporters, wait for it, brewing for a while." Well done. Well done, Mike Florio, Greg Gabriel's best friend in the media world. All right, let's get back to our TV talk. I think we left off a parody.
Did anybody know that show Invincible?
Yeah. What is it, guys? Are you familiar with the show Invincible? Because I'm not. This is the first I'm hearing of it. Maybe I probably saw it as I'm scrolling through stuff.
I mean, you kind of have to like comic books and superheroes. That's really not everybody's bag,
right?
But it is a decent show. It's like kind of like anti-superhero show,
right? It is a cartoon. I think Tooch said that earlier. Yeah, I'm definitely going to watch it. You say it's a little violent. My daughter,
very violent.
My daughter loves anime. Does it have an anime feel to it?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay,
yeah. But I mean, it's better animation than anime. You know, it's more realistic.
Right.
Got
to tell you this, Tooch. My daughter Kayla, this was during the summer. She's wearing this T-shirt. It says zombification. It's got these devilish images and stuff. And I'm like,
is she like a zombie fan?
She's become a punk rock, hard rock fan. So I said, let me hear some of the music, and it's I'm like, you like this? And she goes, oh, Dad, I love it. And I'm like, how come when I played Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin in the car, you said, can we turn that and put on Miley Cyrus? Tastes change, man. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And she loves anime, and the more violent, the better. Wow. My daughter.
How old is she now?
She's 28, 29. 28, yeah. Okay. Yeah, about to turn 30. Yeah. Unbelievable. And a homeowner, school teacher. I'm so proud of her.
Yeah. My son's 26 now, and he's on his own now. It's like great. It's like, he's making decent money. He's working at a shop in South Elgin. He's got his own place in Hoffman Estates.
Okay, cool.
So he's on his own. He loves all that stuff, zombies and video games and punk rock. Yeah, too. He's a good kid. I miss him. I don't have him around me that often. It's like I gotta call him.
Yeah,
but my
because he's at that age, he's not gonna call his parents.
No. He did call me today though. It's wild.
Awesome.
I was checking on his old man, but. My 6-year-old has been singing that "Die with a Smile" song every day, all the time. It's so catchy.
Yeah, it
Do
is.
you know that one?
Yes.
Bruno and Lady Gaga.
Yeah,
I mean,
I do.
it's like it's a great song. It's so.
It is.
I mean, when I think about you and I have talked about this before about how there really aren't songwriters, with melody and chord progression and harmony and stuff like that. But Bruno Mars is one guy that
I agree.
He is so good, man. He's
He
like
really is.
the modern Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. He's got the Motown flavor, but also, doesn't feel like it's, 50 years old.
Right, exactly.
And,
it's modern.
He's a cool guy, very entertaining. I love
the lyrics are good.
His Super Bowl halftime show, I think, is one of the top 5, maybe top 10.
Totally agree. Time. Yep, and the chat room agreed last time too. We had, but one of the best.
Yep.
What were you watching though? I
watched. I watch it from time to time with my wife, and today we watched an episode of a CBS show called Tracker. Have you heard of it?
Tracker, no.
I think you would love this show because you're a fan of Jack Reacher, and it's basically the same premise. Yep. This guy, he's not a bounty hunter, but he's just somebody who's for hire to help people find a missing person, to help solve a crime, and so forth. So, like,
my wife too.
Yeah,
this is right up her alley.
Oh my gosh, and the guy is so goddamn handsome. I know that's the number one reason my wife says we're watching Tracker, but I'm watching again. We're watching Tracker. I forgot his name. Let me look it up real quickly. But today's episode, the episode we watched today, it involves a grandmother calling about her grandson, and her grandson was his name is Justin Hartley. And I'll find a picture of him here soon. But his grandmother says this guy knows how to take care of himself because he was like Rambo in the military, but there's something weird going on. And so he spends the episode trying to get to the bottom of it. It's always entertaining. Every week is a new case. It has that very similar Jack Reacher style. So I think you'll like it. It's on CBS, and you can find it on demand on, I don't know if it's Hulu.
It's on Hulu and CBS normally, right? Paramount Plus probably.
Exactly. Paramount Plus. By the way, did you hear that Paramount Plus, like, they lost $20 billion in their last quarterly report or something ridiculous
like that? They have some great shows, though. It's where I watch, like, CBS Sports, too, there. You can watch.
Yeah, there's Tracker. Yeah, look at that guy. He's so goddamn good looking.
But it's not like a documentary. It's like
Hollywood produced.
Hollywood produced. Okay. Yeah, I would like that. I got to tell my wife.
Yeah, Tracker on CBS and on one of the streaming services. Besides that, we just recently watched some of the crime documentaries that are on Netflix.
Okay.
Nothing that I particularly liked to recommend. There was something else that I saw.
There's a Black Hawk Down documentary there.
Yeah. Have you seen that?
I started watching the first episode, but I couldn't really get into it. I mean, I love the movie so much. It's a fantastic movie, and it has like maybe the greatest cast ever assembled. If you go and look and, he's in that too. So there's like 25 people who are, fairly big stars in the whole movie. I mean, you go down the list, there's tons of actors. They're all in it, whether it's big, large parts or small parts. But if you go and watch it, and it's a great movie too. Ridley Scott's fantastic.
Yeah, Ridley Scott is one of my all-time favorite filmmakers. He is one of those filmmakers, though, that he's had a couple of bombs.
Yeah.
But he's had some of my favorite movies, like Gladiator is one of my
Alien.
Favorite. Alien. Oh my God. It's just so good. Hey, I just saw something that you saw a long time ago, but I don't know if you ever finished it. The Scorsese movie, Killers of the Flower Moon.
I never finished it. I know. I got to go back to it. I was like, I couldn't get into it. I was like, this is kind of dumb.
Yeah.
And like De Niro and DiCaprio were like horrible people.
Yeah,
it's like I hate these people.
They are. There's, other than the Native Americans, everyone that's white in that show is a despicable person.
But I mean, is it worth going back to? And
I think so. Yeah. If you are interested in that history of the American Indians, and it's well known now that murders against Native Americans rarely go properly investigated, and this might have been one of the first ones. And I liked it just because anything with Scorsese's fingerprints on it, I'm going to like, because of the way he moves the camera, the way he tells stories, the visualization is fantastic. He's added some CGI stuff to amplify some of the aesthetics in the movie.
And didn't it win Best Picture too?
Yeah, I don't know if it won Best Picture, but it's won a share of awards. 3.5 hours long. Lily Gladstone, who plays the Native American lead, she's fantastic, but the 3.5 hours long is a problem. I stopped 3 times to get through it. So
I wonder, does he have anything upcoming, like movie?
Do you think De Niro is still a good actor, or do you agree with Mayhem saying Robert De Niro is an overrated actor?
He's got a show right now, I think.
Yeah, he's like the president on something.
Okay.
That's
he's a good actor.
Yeah. I wouldn't say he's overrated. I mean, he's done some
memorable characters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I would say the second half of his career, outside of the few prestige projects that he's done with Scorsese, like The Irishman, and this movie, 0 Day is the new thing he's doing.
0 Day,
yeah. He plays the president who's handling some kind of 911 catastrophe. I heard the reviews on that were not very good. So
I still want to see it, though. I remember putting it in my queue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed. I mean, he's done, like I say, he's done some great movies and some memorable characters. It seems like this part of his career, it's kind of like taking the Bruce Willis, Nicolas Cage turn, where it's just like, I'm collecting a check, I need to, and I'll do this, whatever. But
that's funny. You know what? Nicolas Cage did that horror movie, Crazy Legs.
Long Legs.
Okay,
it was fantastic in it.
He was brilliant. And now I hear he's coming out with another movie. What's it called? The Surfer. Have you seen this thing?
No, but Nicolas Cage is one of those. He can either be like the worst actor in a movie or the best actor in the movie. It's like he covers the whole spectrum. He could be in a movie. He can be totally terrible, and he sucks in it. And then
you aren't kidding.
Long Legs will come by, and he's fantastic in it.
Yes. I think he produced it too. The issue with Cage, because he was the subject of a 60 Minutes report. This guy spends money like fucking crazy, and so he accepts all these jobs just to keep up with his lifestyle. I mean, De Niro is 81. Yeah, he might want to hang him up pretty soon. Heat is his best movie. I agree with
fantastic
you.
Fantastic.
All right. So this Nick Cage movie, let me share with you the trailer to it. It is called The Surfer, and this trailer just came out. Here it comes.
You can't stop a wave. Born in a storm, way out to sea. Pure energy. It's all building to this breaking point.
Uncle's only.
I grew up here.
Don't live here. Don't surf here.
Hey, Dad.
It's okay. You're scaring my boy.
Now. No need for all this fuss. Listen to me, brother. I know it's smart to lose face in front of your boy, but you got to know when to back down, or it could get a whole lot worse.
This is a special place for us. It was magic here when I was your age. My old house is finally for sale. I'm buying it.
Just want to go home now.
Wake up.
Locals only. Don't live here, don't surf here.
I'm not surfing. What's the view for locals only as well? Hey!
Men are like engines. You've got to release a little steam now and then or you'll blow up.
That's my board, and I want it back.
Listen, mate, I think you've been out in the sun too long.
No, my father gave me that board.
I can tell you myself, that old board's been up there for as long as I can remember.
She's a beaut, isn't she? I'm not trying to be cruel. We don't belong here anymore.
All I want is to take my son surfing.
Don't get yourself down. Before you can have everything, you have to experience nothing.
What?
Pathetic.
That's a good one.
All right, that looks
that looks great, man. Got to be South Africa.
Yeah,
Right? South
I
Africa.
think so. I would guess that looks really,
Did you
really
see Pig?
effing good. Yes, on
Yeah,
your
okay.
recommendation.
That
I
was
thought it was
fantastic,
great.
too.
Yes, the guy. You know what? I actually think he's on a winning streak here. The last few things he's been in, Pig and Long Legs. It looked good, and the surfer movie could be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Bear Ski Film says, looks fucking weird, man. I love it. I love it. You know what, Mr. Mayhem, Robert De Niro's best film, you say it was Heat, and I agreed with you, but now that I'm thinking about it, Godfather 2.
Godfather 2 was excellent.
Where he plays the young Vito Corleone.
Yep.
Pretty fucking
damn
amazing.
good.
Pretty fucking amazing.
Yep. Once Upon a Time in America. Too.
Oh, another one.
Yep. Fantastic.
Do you like movie scores, Tooch? You know.
Oh yeah.
I used to collect them. And the movie
I love
score.
the Ennio Morricone. Was
Yes,
the
that's my
greatest.
guy.
Yep.
That's my guy. The movie score that he did for Once Upon a Time in America is one of my all-time favorites. It is so good. Hans Zimmer, Gladiator, Bernard Herrmann, Psycho. You know, those guys, the music that they did from the movie took the movie from a B+ movie to an A+ movie kind of thing.
100%. Yeah, the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly was groundbreaking, you know, for that. What was it, 67? 68?
Yes.
1968.
Yes.
It was included all of these weird instruments, you know, and sounds and stuff, you know.
That was part of Morricone's genius. He was always looking for like new instruments to play with, the pan flute and all sorts of stuff. Bearsky Film says that his wife loves the movie Moonstruck with Cher and Nicolas Cage. You recall it, Tooch?
Yeah, it's been a while though since I've seen it. I think it was 1985.
Yeah, I would say it was around there.
83 to 85, somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm. One of the best lines in movie history, Nicolas Cage tells Cher, "I love you," and she slaps him in the face and says, "Get over it."
That's right.
Yeah, so Cliff, I think, did some research here. Cage buys expensive items, 15 homes, 2 albino cobras, 2 castles. Yeah, the guy is
I forgot. I knew he owned 1 castle. I didn't know he owned 2.
Yeah. Man, that's just extravagant lifestyle. He's great in the movie Face Off. Nicolas Cage, says Mr. Mannheim. That's a John Woo movie, or is it John Woo, the director? Yeah,
I think so.
With Travolta. Yeah, good movie. I saw it in the theater a long time ago.
Very cool.
What do you got going on this week, Tooch?
Let's see. Not much, really. Trying to get those guys together for another weekend sports, maybe do some college basketball. I think we're going to get together for some March Madness.
Nice.
I'm having a hard time talking with this cough. You know,
really,
that's what sucks. You know,
I didn't. You know, a couple.
I know. I've been
I
struggling and stuff. You know, but I'm hoping it goes away soon. I've gone to the doctor twice. I've got another appointment next week.
Jeepers.
I'm like, dude, this thing isn't going away. You know, maybe it's just damage from when I had COVID. You know.
Yeah, there's all sorts of stories about what you know, that just getting COVID or what the vaccine might have done. Blah blah blah. Who the hell knows? Yeah, keep going to the doctor, man. Get that looked after. By the way, tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central, I'm going to be on Bearski's channel. I'm a guest on their show, and so
where can I find that?
Yeah, that's Bearsky. Give me on the chat.
Hold on, I want to, because I just signed up for Danny Shimmons.
Danny Shimmons. Yeah.
What's Bearski's?
Let's see. It's coming up. He's typing it up now.
It's not Bearsky.
I'm not subscribed to it, but he could probably, let's see. Bearsky Film. I think it's Bearsky Film. and it's all one word.
Yeah, Bearski Film. 6,000 subscribers.
Yeah, he's kicking ass.
Wow, damn.
He does these great videos,
Right.
and his podcast is really good too.
Shit.
6 p.m. Central, Bearski Film.
All right, I'm subscribed, Bearski.
There you go. I got 2 different accounts on my Barroom account. I wasn't a subscriber, so your subscribers have gone up thanks to Tooch and I.
Yeah. Well, it just said 6.61.
There it is.
Now
That's
it says
me and
6.62.
That's us, man.
Yeah, nice.
So I'm looking forward to that, talking some football with them
cool.
on Friday. It'll be the
He hasn't
Willis
asked
Twins.
me to be on, though.
Yeah, what the hell? Are
Yeah.
you available tomorrow at 6 o'clock? Maybe you can crash the
Crash in. I do. Aaron Courage and I have been talking offline about 3 shows. Let me just pull up what he messaged me about some draft shows.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Awesome.
Post free agency show, mock draft show, and a post draft show is what the 2 of us are working on right now.
Nice. I love it.
Yeah. Baralissimo, he'll be involved, and Chris Watts, I think, and
great cast.
RKB.
Great cast.
So that's in the works.
Let's. Can you stick around, Tooch, after the show? Because there's something I need to share with you. So I'm going to pull the plug.
Yeah.
Weekend sports betting tips, possibly this Friday.
Possibly, I think maybe more towards March Madness once maybe like the selection and the brackets are set up.
Great. Always a fun show to listen to. Even if you're not a big gambler, tune into Weekend Sports Betting Tips. They're usually on Fridays.
Sean and Anthony like to share stories and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It's a very entertaining show. And then after that, at 7 p.m., it's the Willis Twin Towers. And, of course, I'll be on with Bearski tomorrow. I think Mac and Reed have a show tomorrow. They'll be talking about the Combine. We will have all sorts of Combine coverage, but most of it will be sharing on Monday, starting with Gabriel Talks Football. Yeah, Fitz, what's a great gift.
That was fun, man.
Cliff. Thank you for sharing
I'm
that.
hungry, too, now.
I am, too.
I want to go and eat something. I don't know what I'm going to eat.
I
got nothing.
I got a Red Baron frozen pizza in the oven. Should I throw that in?
Yeah,
definitely. I'm not kidding you. I might. So that's it. Tooch, stick around. We'll play the closing music, and thank you all for hanging out with us for a couple hours.
See you guys next week.
Bye-bye.